You are about to witness history in the making.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to another Pop Culture Gamers podcast. My name's Hayden, and today is the 17th of May, so the year's carrying on, and I'm here, as always, with Paul and Mr. Forza, Stephen Simpson.
Hello, guys, right?
Aye.
Okay, Paul, we'll come to you first. What have you been doing?
Just the usual, really. Been buying and selling. Prices of PC parts are still absolutely sky high. There's still people that are selling parts at silly low prices because they might have bought them 2 or 3 years ago, and they say, "Oh, I just want my money back on them," regards of prices being like 300% higher. But I've been reading in the news that unfortunately it's going to have a further knock-on effect as all DDR5 prices, because obviously no DDR5, or if people aren't prepared to build a PC system, it has a knock-on effect to your manufacturers for the motherboards and such like. And so manufacturers are now chopping back on their output of motherboards. So therefore, motherboards are now going to go up in price, which no doubt is going to have another knock-on effect on power supplies, cases, and all the rest of it, really. So PC gaming I think is going to become pretty horrendously expensive unless you're prepared to dive into the second-hand market and get some really killer deals, really. Or if you're just happy with what you've got and just upgrade a few parts. But if you're starting fresh and you're going to buy it all brand new at the moment, I think you've got an expensive job on your hands. You might as well go buy yourself, a games console and a laptop if you want the best of both worlds,
Or maybe buy a Steam machine.
Yeah, or a Steam machine. I mean, they keep chatting about it, don't they? Like, they keep sort of, stepping towards, like, as if no one's actually says they're not going to release it this year. And they keep stepping towards it. I mean, I watch a lot of YouTube, so they're always trying to make content. So who knows how true it is. They'll turn up one sentence into a 10-minute video to string it out to tell you not a great deal, and it might happen at the end. So, yeah.
Yeah. It's how these so-called influencers are able to say 14,000 words to actually say something that didn't actually say anything new.
Yeah. They probably make good politicians, perhaps, So, they
couldn't do any worse than the existing ones, could they? So
not at the moment, no, I don't think they could. So anyway, I don't know if I remember mentioning this on the last podcast as well, but I'd had some quite I bought them second hand, but they are expensive if you go buy them brand new. Some Bose QC35s, so they're quite oldish models. They do QC45s, and they've actually changed them now to just called Quiet Comforts, which I actually bought a brand new pair from Amazon at a good price, about 129 quid. So, but anyway, I was in the garage a few weeks ago, and I found my QC35s, and the reason they were in the garage is because I'd done an update to them a while ago, and they just stopped working. I mean, I hadn't done anything, I hadn't dropped them, I hadn't done anything wrong with them. And so anyway, I'd like, when you find something, you think, I'm just going to have another Google about this. QC35, no audio output. So I had a little read up, and I latched onto a Reddit thing. And it actually says what you need to do to fix them is go on to Bose's website, download the last update, download that, and use that. So I downdated it, or whatever you might want to call it, to the last firmware. All of a sudden, the headphones are working. I'm thinking, oh my goodness, fantastic. I've now got a spare set, because upstairs I like to watch stuff with the headphones on, and downstairs as well I watch stuff with the headphones. So if the missus is asleep in bed, I don't want to have the TV on waking her up all the time. So anyway, then I updated them to the latest firmware again, knowing that worst case scenario, I could always downgrade them again. And no, they upgraded and they've been working fine. But because they've been in the garage as well, the earpads, well, they've gone all sort of funny. They'd kind of got a bit of moisture to them or whatever, and they literally were falling apart. Now, I took a look online, and the QC35s, Bose don't officially do a replacement for them, but they do one for the QC45. So you do a bit of digging, it's Google. And basically, the QC45 ones are the same as the QC35 ones, so just order them, but they're 20 quid. So I'm sure I can get something cheaper than 20 quid for some replacement. So I had a look at Amazon, and there's sort of like about $11.99 for some third-party ones. And I dug a bit deeper in Amazon because they don't always show you the cheapest price at the top of the Amazon. They're not that keen on giving you the best price. So I dug further and further down the list, and I found you could get 2 sets, a replacement set and a spare set as well, for £5.99. So I thought, well, I'll get them ordered on through Prime. And they're all like on these special clips. You kind of got to like pull the old one off, and it's a bit of a pain to like hook them on. But I've hooked them on now, and if someone told me them as second hand, I would have no idea that there was some like cheapy Chinese replacement, cushions. And so yeah, I'm well pleased now. So I've got my QC35s, and I've got my Quiet Comforts, which I use downstairs, and my QC35s upstairs. So yeah, fantastic.
I can tell you, I had exactly the same thing.
Yeah,
because they're mine, and I replaced those on mine as well because, and it was just through a lot of wear. This had obviously got like dried, started to crack, and then bits started coming off.
Yeah.
So what sets that you got there, Hayden? Is that what you got there?
They're my boss.
Okay,
but it was just to replace the pads.
Yeah. Well, funny to say that because
we've all got a set.
No. Actually, something else I have. So I've got my Xbox set. Have a look at that.
Yeah. Left and right on them. Oh, it's
Yeah,
coming away, isn't it?
Look at that. So
Yeah, you look online, because that's exactly how mine had gone, my Bose ones. And I'm not kidding you, they were, you can get those bits, the bridges as well. All you need to do is just go and have a look on Amazon, because that's how I found mine. And I found out you can get the bridges bit for the top of the head and all of that as well. But to be honest, I just needed the suction cup.
I don't know if they come off on the Xbox set or not. I don't know.
Yeah, they'll come off. They'll just be kept in by clips or something.
Yeah, have a look on YouTube. I watched a YouTube guide for mine, and I think if I hadn't watched it, I think I'd have had a frustrating time. How did you watch a YouTube, Hayden, to replace yours? Yeah. Because it's weird, isn't it? They kind of like, you could be pushing it, and it don't want to clip in, and all of a sudden you'll nudge it a little bit, and it just clicks in, and it's like click, 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 click all the way around.
You've got to click it in about 8 places around the body.
Did you buy official ones or third-party ones?
No, I couldn't get official ones because my headphones, I don't do them anymore.
No.
So the other set I'm using now for music are a Bose set. These are one down from the other, but they've got like a different type of suction head on them, so they won't go. These Stenhouse ones.
Yeah, it's really a common thing, isn't it? The PVC doesn't last forever on them. The old ones I had on my Bose had literally they haven't peeled away. It's almost as if all like the inner glue on the inside, and it has like opened up so you could see all the foam on the inside.
Yeah, that's exactly how mine work. Because I mean, mine are the Bose SoundLink around ear wireless headphones too. That's the model that I've got. So they don't have noise cancellation, which is a bit of a shame because I could still hear the wife. But
that's what they're for, isn't it?
I have to turn mine up loud. Honestly, my missus, she snores really loud. You know what I mean? And so, like, if I ain't got my headphones on, I won't be able to watch the TV in any case.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But yeah, it's really dead easy to replace the pads on your headphones. So I would just have a look, Steve, on Amazon to see if you can get some.
I mean, I've had them quite a while. I don't use them that many times because it's only when I'm online. There's not a lot I do that normally. So whether or not I can talk to them about them, get another set out of them, I don't know.
Often they can be quite consumer friendly in that respect. Some of these companies, I don't specifically know about them, but if you contact them and tell them what's happened.
I've had a lot of grief with Microsoft over the years, haven't I, Hayden? Especially the new controllers, I'll
tell you another thing to ponder as well. I had like, I've got them in the other room. It's like a cheapy sort of PC headset, with like the boom mic on it. And the PVC had started to peel on them. So I just went downstairs over a sink or whatever, and I peeled off all the PVC. So the foam was still fine. But the problem is, when the PC's peeling off, if you wear them, it's like you've got black dandruff all the way down you all the time, and it becomes a real pain. So if you just cut it off, you can literally just peel it off. It'll peel off. It's a bit of a pain, but as long as the cushions are still working, that's good enough, I find.
Well, it sort of like leaves an almost suede sort of substance underneath, doesn't it?
Yeah. So you might find you're okay, but just because they probably can't get any worse scenario, if you know what I mean, even if you peeled it off.
So what else have you been doing, Paul?
Other than that, what else have I been doing? I've been buying some games. I'll tell you what I did do. As you know, I'm big into I want to play my games in the garden. I love the idea of playing the games. And as you know, we've had some half-decent weather, haven't we? So but it's obviously been pretty rubbish for the past couple of weeks, which is typical. So for about a week or so, the weather was nice, and I decided to play the Switch 2 outside in the garden or whatever. And you can't, because it's such a glossy screen, you put it in front of your face almost. Well, you're looking at yourself, and because of the light, and you've got to try and angle it as well at a certain angle to get the best picture out of it, it really is a losing battle. So I went on Amazon and did a lot of reading up, because I don't want to be messing about buying the wrong screen protector and it just being a load of rubbish. So I do a bit of a deep dive on these things. And so I looked on, it turned out Amazon 99. I can't remember the exact name of the things. I could tell you, I'd take a look. I think it's called Amfilm or something is the name of the company. And they get good reviews and such like. But it comes with this adapter that you put over the screen, so when you're fitting it, it's perfectly aligned. But of course, I mean, that's only the half of it, isn't it, really? When you're fitting a screen protector, you could have hairs under there, you could have a teeny speck of dust, and once you get that screen protector over it, it's encased, it's entombed forever underneath there, unless you're prepared to take it off and run the risk of making it worse. So, but anyway, I bought this screen, and I wanted to get a matte or anti-reflective. They seem to call them both names, some of these companies. So I put it on and it went on really well. I was quite chuffed. There were a couple of bubbles in there, but I do know from recent past putting on screen protectors these days, that's not all doom and gloom if you end up with a couple of bubbles. Obviously, you can squeeze most of them out, and even if you're left with a couple of dodgy looking little areas, as the screen protector sort of dries over the next few hours, it generally shrinks down in any case and it becomes a better fit. Often, if you think you've done a fairly bad job on a screen protector and it's full of bubbles, leave it for 5 or 6 hours. You can come back and you can find it looks as good as it's meant to be. So it all went on really nice, and I used it outside in the garden, and what a difference it makes. You know, the matte screen and such I can now have it at an angle I want to look at it, rather than, I'm not fighting two things, the light and my reflection. And yeah, I'm really impressed with that. So I bought one for the PlayStation Portal, and I've got one for the Steam Deck in any case, which I never bothered to fit, which I am going to fit. So when the nicer weather comes around again, I'm going to do that. But oddly enough, I've just bought another PS Portal today. I bought my original one for about 75 quid second hand, and perfectly fine, nothing wrong with it in the slightest. But I've always kind of had a keen eye on the black coloured one. Now I think the black one just looks that little bit nicer. And so I said to myself, if another one pops up about 75 quid-ish, you know what? I'm going to buy it. So anyway, one popped up on eBay today, and I paid about 87 quid, including buyer protection and the delivery fee. So I'll sell mine for probably 100 quid. I'm not going to make any real money on it, etc. But I've got a black one incoming. So, and there's no advantage to it. The black one came out in 2025. It's not got a better battery. It hasn't got better joysticks. It has nothing better about it other than the fact it is black. So it really is an unnecessary. It's a total side grade in the most extreme fashion, really. But other than that, just been buying a couple of games and stuff, which I'll mention in the gaming section, I reckon.
Okay, Steve, what about what you've been doing?
I've been to Spain for a few days, about a week ago now, and nice little breakaway. But the weather wasn't the greatest, but it was warm still. It didn't really rain, and we just try to recharge ourselves before we go for our real holiday in July. So it's been
away going in
Cyprus,
nice. But
yeah, no, it was nice to get away to do that. Unfortunately, it personally turned sour as I was. So our flight was early morning coming back, so we had to get a cab from the hotel. It was about 3 a.m. You know, it was crazy. But got to the airport, which wasn't too bad. It only cost us about €100 for that. 'Cause it's about a 45-minute journey to the hotel, to the airport. Sorry. And we got through customs, everything else, and that, and so on and so forth. And just sat looking at my phone, and I saw some weird messages, thinking, "What's going on Twitter? I'm going to call it that, not X, because I don't like calling it X anyway." I got the sad news that a friend of mine has passed away. His name is Tony Stella, and really, really devastating to hear the news. Couldn't believe it, really. And it wasn't until I got off the flight that I got more information about it from a friend in New York who I've done podcasts with Wrong Reel. Yeah, and it's someone that's younger than you. It's very hard to take that in another perspective as well. As you know, I'm in my 60s, and but I'm not sure how old he actually was, but he was nowhere near my age. and he was a great illustrator. And it's such a loss, as a friend, and also what he does. But it's nice to know that the family they're gonna keep his artwork going with what he has done, and they'll be posting on X as well. So that'd be pretty good. That most people don't even know they might have his artwork in their collection of Blu-rays or soundtracks or whatever, because he's done a lot of work. So especially for Arrow, and just it's a real shame, to be fair. But yeah. But we're thinking about him, Other than that, I've been and ahhing for donkeys because I couldn't get the special edition because it's sold out. But I got the Hammer and Captain Kronos 4K, which I'm not sure if you've ever seen that one or not before. Really like that one. That was in a podcast I did many moons ago with Ron Rail regarding Hammer Horror. So I picked that one up. That turned up, and well good picture on it. Again, Hammer, their restoration work is really good. I think they, just still waiting for the big one to come out. They just released X, haven't they? Experiment.
Yeah.
Was the latest one?
They haven't. No, it's on pre-order.
Yeah, but I keep hearing rumours of Dracula being released, which is what we really want, Other than that, I pre-ordered some soundtracks. I got Man with the Golden Gun coming from La La Land Records at some point in June on vinyl. There's a double album gold vinyl for that. Something really weird. Something arrived today that I sort of pre-ordered, but something came with it that I added anyway. So I got Days of Thunder. So I don't know if you remember the Tom Cruise movie with the stock car. So I picked up that and got the international edition. So there's only 300 of those available with a sort of splatter look on them. I'm a bit of a Nina Simone fan personally, and I don't know if you know who she is and what she used to do, but I picked up an album of hers. The only one I really wanted to is because she did a song where the intro is what they used in film 89, or should I say in film 71, right through to basically to 89, to was it 18 I think when it finished. But so that arrived today, and I opened it up and there was 2 copies in there.
Nice.
Looked at the invoice, there's one. So am I the good boy and let them know that they sent me one extra one, or should I keep it? That's the question.
They possibly would tell you to keep it.
Yeah.
They don't know. I mean, because it's on if the invoice was 2, then I would have sent it back and said, look, that was a mistake. Can you refund me? It's the same thing happened with Jerry Anderson as well. I got 2 Stingrays, haven't I? Because that was something else. But I think that one, I did pay for them, anyway. But anyway, that was quite a long time ago now. But, that was very interesting, that. Yeah, and actually, Nina Simone, it was a sort of like an ultimate collection of her songs. So that's a bit of a soul, sort of jazz type sort of artist, from the 60s and that, early 70s. But yeah, that's about it. I picked up some games, of course. So picked up the expansion for Diablo, which you need to get, Hayden, if we need to carry on doing any double stuff on that. But what I would say, I'll talk about more when we see what we've been playing. And obviously, I picked up the premium edition of Forza Horizon 6. Hence, I've been playing it for 3 days now before it's released. I think it's tomorrow. So, yeah, that's about it for me, really.
Yeah. Okay. Well, for me, I've been settling into my new job as a product manager, which I've been in for about a month now, but managed to have a whole week off because I had tonsillitis, which was good, which is why we didn't record last week. So as part of that, I've just completed the ITIL Foundation course for sort of like qualifying myself up for, ITL master status, maybe, I don't know. Did an accredited course on contract management as well, which was interesting. So that's work. Otherwise, my big pickup, which I'll talk about shortly, which is a Steam controller version 2, which I don't know how I managed to get one because I hadn't even realised that they were getting released. I saw somebody put on, the live. I was flicking through and I thought, I'll just go on the computer and just go and see. Just went on, ordered it, and it came. And everybody else seemed to have been trying to get in the queue. It was taking Steam down and all sorts. So
do you think you just got lucky, really, not realising that and just getting go?
Yeah, I think I got totally lucky on that. Picked up a Raspberry Pi 500 as well. I'm just going to use that as a little retro games machine.
Mine's still in its box, my original one.
Yeah. Oh, no, this is one built into a keyboard. And then got a couple of Hammer movies as well. I got Quatermass Experiment and Quatermass Experiment 2. So I've got both of those from Hammer, which I'll talk about one of them rather than both because I'm pretty much saying very similar
They're
things.
identical, aren't they, really, to be fair? Just that it's a different movie.
Yeah, different movie and obviously variations of different content, relevant for each movie in each one.
Same as the Frankenstein one.
Yeah, I got Curse of Frankenstein as well. So I've got all three of those. And I'm just starting to think about my holiday to Alaska. And
Get your snowshoes on.
We've just... Oh, no, it should be about 18 degrees.
Oh, okay.
I believe that's centigrade rather than Fahrenheit as well.
Mm.
But we've just spent nearly, 1,800 quid on excursions on the holiday. So hopefully we'll get to see glaciers, eagles, golden eagles in Alaska, bears, whales, God knows what else, loads of stuff. So I got a new long distance, telephoto camera lens for the holiday. So hopefully I'm going to be putting that through its paces.
You peeping Tom, you?
Peeping Tom on bears and whales, and I don't mean the ones from Swansea either. So yeah, but I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, that's sort of like where I am, and my brother-in-law's coming to house sit for us while we're away, which means that our house will be.
That's what I normally do. To be fair, because we have Yoda, we have a house sitter when we go away, so it just makes life a bit easier.
I was going to say, do you both have pets? Is that why you have house sitters?
Yeah, I've got Yoda. I have. I don't know. You've got a what's his name? What do you call him?
Shelties.
Yeah, Kylon, isn't it? Right.
Kylo and Loki. Yeah. Yeah, but Kylo and Loki are going on their holidays to some kennels, but they love going there because they get treated really well. And evidently, my dog's got the guy there trained so that when it's time to go for a walk, he picks him up and carries him, which he never gets when he's at home. So yeah, he's obviously got his pat sorted out for when he's on a holiday. But no, my brother-in-law, he's having stuff done to his house, so he's coming to live in our house for a couple of weeks while we're away. So yeah, that'll be good. But he's bringing his dogs over, so and our dog's a male, his dog's female, so there wouldn't be any puppies coming from it because our two dogs have both been done for medical reasons for one way or another.
Poor sods.
Yeah, but it was for life extension for them, especially Loki, because he was done at a very young age because he had a descended testicle and it was stuck up in his stomach, so it would have turned cancerous. So rather than put him through that, we had him, done at that point. But, you got to do these things just to make sure that they keep on okay. Anyway, shall we move on to gaming this week?
No longer a dream, but a reality.
Okay, so gaming this week, and, we've got loads of news. Shall we take it in turns because there's so much here? So I'll start off. Possible Xbox Elite 3 controller. So there's been some images that have been circulating around. I've seen a couple of different variations of these, featuring rounder eggs, more bubble-like aesthetic, with a sort of sharper design than previous models. But there's also a couple of scroll wheels near the jack point as well, so not sure what they're for, but evidently the new Xbox controller will have a 1528 milliamp battery as opposed to the 2050 milliamp capacity, but evidently the battery might be removable, so you might be able to upgrade it or stuff like that. And additionally, some people might notice supplementary buttons on the underside of the controller, which documentation is showed to use switch connections from a local console to the cloud as well. So yeah, it's interesting how much that's going to end up being. But I know that PlayStation have also just released a new one of their Pro line for the DualSense as well, haven't they? So it looks like everybody's doubling down on controllers, with obviously the Steam Deck controller coming as well.
Perhaps it's one of the few things they can release that isn't going to be affected by memory. So that's, it's one of them things they
Yeah.
can get out there.
Well, I got to admit, Xbox really needs to do something with its controller. It's been the same for a couple of generations now. It needs an upgrade in the way that the DualSense has upgraded, and obviously the Steam Deck is a big upgrade from the previous one. Not Steam Deck, the Steam controller.
Well, if we had sort of like what they got on the PlayStation 5 controller now, maybe, or something similar to that, maybe.
Yeah.
Or even a mic in it, another mic, talks, for certain racing games and stuff like that, maybe.
Well, the PlayStation controller does have a mic and a speaker. So you've got both in there. And some games like The Division use it to really good effect as well.
Yeah. I mean, the Formula 1 game was really good with it because you would have the pit crew through that mic on the controller. It's quite interesting way of doing it.
Yeah. Anyone want to do Stop Killing Games, or shall I do that one?
You can do that. I've got an extra one, actually, on top of this. I've just been looking what you got there. So
Okay.
I've got a good rumour.
All right. Well, I'll just talk about Stop Killing Games. So evidently this movement, which is about stopping all of these games where you end up buying them for 40 quid or whatever, and it's being delivered as a service, and then they just say, right, we're getting rid of it now. This is a movement that's been growing quite a lot across the world, basically, anywhere that's playing games. But in California, Stop Killing Games, the Assembly Appropriations Committee has voted to move a bill forward from the Assembly for marking the biggest step the movement has taken on US soil, so that the new bill moves into the next stage of the voting process before it can be passed to the Senate and state governors. Basically, the bill requires that developers from January 2027 onward must issue a 60-day notice prior to terminating a game and offer a solution to continue playing the title, whether that is a patch to make it available offline or a community-hosted server kit or otherwise.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these things about games, though, can be down their own licenses that have expired, like for music and for maybe like some kind of clips or whatever they've put into the game. So maybe sometimes that's where the expiration dates may come from. But that should be clearly detailed as part of the purchase, saying that the game's only good for 10 years because the music license is only good for 10 years, I
think that the thing about the music license, though, is that's okay to stop selling games or selling games with that track on after 10 years. But if you've already bought it, if we'd have had it on a disc, it wouldn't have mattered if it was 50 years ago, because you'd have still had it on a disc. I know that we didn't have discs back then, but you know what I mean.
Is this after this Sony PlayStation fanboys crap their pants about DRM and digital games?
No, that was a different thing. That was a Sony.
They were licensing, wasn't it?
Once a month or something.
Yeah.
Dial into say that you've actually do own the game, confirm it. But I understand it's now gone down to you only need to do it once, which I think you had to anyway. And if it was a digital purchase, you'd have to be able to download it. So
it's a bit crazy.
But that's what they were stopping when someone else, it were explained on a few YouTube channels that basically it's to do, there would like a bit of a switch you could do. I can't remember exactly how it works, but basically you could buy a game, then request a refund. But if you were offline or something or other, I can't remember how it works. There's a little magic little moment in the middle that you've got to perform. But you could still download the game afterwards and still play it if your system was offline. So basically you could buy the game. You could maybe buy 2 games this weekend, download them both, ask for a refund, and if you turn your system off, Sony will still give you the refund. But that's what they're stopping now. So that's what it's meant to be about, as opposed to them just changing the rules and you altogether. It was to get round a little bit of a hack or a crack.
Yeah. And on the side spin for that is rumours of the Xbox turning disc games into digital. I don't know if you heard about this one.
Yes, heard that one as well.
So
I'd be really chuffed.
You put because every disc is got its own code anyway, isn't it? So it's identified as one. You can't hand it to someone else; they won't be able to use it because Sony would pick that up. But I think it's a great idea that you can, instead of putting the disc in just to play it, you can just have a digital download. That'd be awesome, really.
The thing is with with streaming though, you end up with a slightly other situation as well. So, for example, it can be a dilemma whether you buy the game digitally or if you're going to stream it, like with a PS Portal or Xbox through other devices, etc. Because unless it's in the cloud already, if you've got the physical disc version, you have to have the disc in the console to be able to stream it. So, then it does cause a bit of an issue, really, because it becomes, we're all lazy, aren't we, by nature, unfortunately. Like, if I'm in the garden, I'm unlikely to get myself up out of the garden, go upstairs, put the disc in, turn the TV on, make sure it's in, blah blah blah, then go sit downstairs. I don't want the inconvenience. So
also it says here you can also allow for cloud gaming as well. So once that's your digital license is on your machine, you can play that wherever you want. It should be great.
What it depends. It might come with a bit of a caveat along the lines of like if every disc had like a serial number, which they could probably do, say. Some digital signature on it, well then they might say, well, once it's been hooked up to your machine, that's it, it's like a use once disc.
Oh yeah, because you don't want to give it to your mate and say, here, download this and give a digital copy, so say get lost on it.
Well, that'd stop people selling games. That'd kind of like be a use once game. That'd be like it wouldn't be very green or whatever you might consider it as being, and that'd be a little bit like just buying a code in a box.
But CX, for example, obviously those games have never been digitized. If that happens, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so probably.
To be honest, I think the way that where we need to go with this now seems to be, I think, might be where Nintendo's going, so that you get the game, you get a code in the box, and you download it from the digital store, but you can disassociate the code from your account and then sell it on again. But that's what we need to do.
They used to do a thing, didn't they, with Blu-rays? You remember where you got like a code in the box, so you could have it you got it digitally. If you could pay for the best of both worlds, I think most people would be very happy. Then you could add another tenner on top.
But that was another problem though, because some of those companies had to fold due to the way the digital licenses were, and then you lost your content. Although funny just to say that, the app on the Xbox for film and TV. It asked for an update the other day, so I gave it an update, and I've never actually opened it up. When I opened it up, all my purchases from Xbox and the 360 days were all sitting there. So I got the Guild. Do you remember the Guild?
Yes, and you know that they're making a movie.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I saw the trailer for it. Yeah. So the Guild's on there. I've got Search for Spox on there for the lowest box. So Halo documentary, the Atari one. Do you remember that was on there? So all that stuff is still sitting there in the cloud. Which is good.
And it should do, because you've paid for it.
In fairness.
And it should be associated with your account rather than your console. Because your console, you might change your console. You might buy your...
Which you had done, because that was all 360 days. That was a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, I know. But all this stuff needs to link to your personal account. But where I still don't like it is the fact that if Microsoft decide, for whatever reason, they don't like you, which, Steve, sometimes you've been very close to that or have been subjected to that, they can just remove your digital stuff and you could have spent thousands.
That's why I buy physical copies, and so do you,
Yeah.
I still don't trust. Netflix can get rid of a film. Your favourite movie could be on there all the time. Suddenly it's gone. What you're going to have to purchase it. Or... the Bond films have gone round in circles between Amazon and other people as well.
It's the same with PlayStation Plus. They'll put a new game on, but it might only be on there for 6 months.
Yeah, and they say Game Pass does lose games, but the ones that are first party obviously don't. The Forza and Ubisoft linked ones, they'll probably sit there for a long time. And
Forza 4 was pulled.
Well, that's understandable when we're on number 6 now, though, isn't it, really?
Well, why?
Because the online services, probably no one was playing it.
You can play. You don't have to play it online. You can play it. You
might be able to play it. You might be able to, but it's probably the online services they kicked off, maybe.
Yeah, but this is where, like, that whole movement of stop killing games would say, no, you have to make it available to be able to play offline.
Yeah. Do you remember the Halo thing where that one guy kept the server running because he didn't want him to kick it off, and he just kept his machine on all the time?
It's like a protest, isn't it?
It is, yeah. He was on there for donkeys, and but now, obviously, I think with the new Halo, there's different things you can do.
Wasn't it PlanetSide or Planetfall? I can't remember what it was, but they had an event where they closed the servers and they had it so that it was like a meteorite hitting the planet or something and killed everybody.
But like for you, Hayden, you got the grief about Bungie with Destiny about losing those planets, and you're thinking, well, while they're there. But again, I call that server space myself, personally, when they sunset that.
Well, and that's what I think is totally, to be honest, shite, in a word, because you've paid for that content. It should be available to you.
But actually, what they did do was the weapons, they took that back. They sunset some weapons, didn't they? But brought them all back because they got a bit of a backlash over that.
Yeah, but they didn't bring back the planet.
Yeah, I suppose, I don't know.
They didn't bring back the missions.
What would they do with World of Warcraft? Is some of that still going? Has that disappeared? Does anyone know how that works?
I've played exactly 30 minutes of World of Warcraft.
I used to play it quite a bit, and I stopped playing it, but I do believe that they got some backlash. I could be totally wrong. I did keep a little bit of an ear to the ground where they had to re-release it, because like anything, like Coca-Cola, you shouldn't change the formula. You know what I mean? They change the formula on these things, and people don't like it. They don't realise how happy people are with some of these things.
I mean, some of our favourite games, I've got to say, disc copies, and obviously you got that on there. You can play like Fable and Mass Effect, stuff like that. Still kicking around.
I'd say out of the two, PlayStation and Xbox have been much better at supporting past generations of games. It's sort of like I bought an Xbox 360 game this month, and I don't have to have any special, I haven't got any live service or anything on Xbox, and it'll still allow me to use an Xbox 360 game in my Xbox Series X, and it'll still sit.
Yeah, it connects to the server, doesn't it? Because it says I'm downloading, because you've got the 360 emblem comes up, and you've got the old school bit where it's downloading like it did for Final Fantasy and stuff like that.
Yeah, and also the frame rate boosted a load of games, which for me, that can be the difference between me buying a PlayStation game or an Xbox game or whatever. As long as it's 60, even if it's 720p, if it's 60 frames per second, I'm happy to play it. It's when
it's the smoothness.
Yeah, it's just a bit janky is 30 frames per second. There's some workarounds, but
I don't know if you've got it also in the notes. I don't think it has. They're looking to add more games back to the Xbox. There's been a bit of a poll on what people want, apparently, to bring back some other games that, from past and present or whatever.
People have got a lot of fond memories about these games. You've got to remember that them 360 games won't have been necessarily our first games that we ever played or got for Christmas. But there'll be a whole range of people each year that got their first game or their first game they got for birthdays. There's memories attached to all them games. It's not just us older gamers. There's different generations that remember each of them.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to my son the other day, taking him to work, and he has what he calls Dad's playlist, which is all of the songs he remembers of me playing in the car when he was going to see his grandparents and that. And Take On Me came on by a-ha, and I said this, I was like talking about it, said I remember when this video came out, I still think it's the best music video that's ever been created. And he was saying, yeah, I totally agree. I remember singing this on Lips on the 360.
It was in Guitar Hero as well, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, but I remember thinking, God, I wouldn't mind getting Lips out and just having a bit of a karaoke evening doing, some of those old songs.
What we did one year, me and Mrs. and everyone else was crawling under the carpet. You could go onto YouTube for certain old songs, and they would bring up the song, put the what to sing and all that, but it'd just be the instrumental bit, and you'd sing along with it.
Yeah,
they're on YouTube. You can find them. So if ever want to annoy people.
But it was the fun of, like doing a competition sort of version on Lips and stuff like that. Yeah. Because there isn't any real games like that. It's like, Guitar Hero. God, we all used to have, more instruments in the Philharmonic Orchestra that was made out of plastic with buttons on. But, all of those games, you just don't get them now.
Isn't it funny, though, because we all pay for those licenses for that music, and the game's gone, it's just gone, isn't it? It's disappeared.
Well, it's not gone because you can still download it on your 360 if you still got your 360. Or if it's already installed on there, it'll still play.
Yeah, I didn't know if some of the licenses on some of the songs went. I don't know, but again, that's just hearsay maybe.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter if the license is gone because you've bought the license, so you can download it. They just can't sell.
Oh yeah, it can't. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the same happened to Alan Wake, didn't it?
Yeah, that went away and then came back because we bought the licenses.
Because on the jukebox bin, you got the songs on the outro of each episode. That's what stopped it. So yeah.
Paul, do you want to do the Xbox achievement upgrade?
Do you fancy do? I don't know that much about the Xbox achievements. I know you guys are massively into them, aren't they?
Okay.
Well, Hayden's more than me because I can tell you what my achievements are now. Looking at, well, the box is on, but yeah. Hayden's Mr. He's trying to go for Stallion, but I don't think he's going to get nowhere near.
I'm never going to be Stallion because I don't have anybody to play the video games for me like he does. I have to play them myself.
Was that a slight dig there?
No, that was a real thing. Evidently, he was cheating with his world record for gamer score because it was a big scandal a while ago because he was getting sponsorship and stuff like that. I'm on at the moment 1.16 million, which I think for a 55-year-old father is quite respectable gamer score, to be quite honest. Especially when I showed my son's friend it, and he went, "Jesus Christ!"
Yeah, well, I'm only 100.
He said, "I've only got 50,000." I said, "I got that in 1 month."
Yeah, because you were playing all those stupid games where you could knock out the gamer score, weren't you?
Do you know what? I still had to play them, and I still had.
Yeah, but some of them you put them in the disc for 10 minutes, and then you get the.
No, you have to play them, and
hit A or something. Yeah.
I'll tell you something. Some of those games now, some of them are actually quite challenging because obviously there's been big cleanup on a lot of these things. I mean, some of them, you can easily get through the levels that, get 1,000 gamer score in about 20, 30 minutes. But some of them are actually quite challenging. But I do get sent them as well to do videos on them or do reviews and stuff, and so which is quite nice.
It's funny what I've been doing is, so before we go back there, so obviously with the reward scheme, I don't know if you still hack away at that still like I do, and I think I've got about £25 in the bank on the box at the minute. I'm going to have another £5 shortly to help to pay for Final Fantasy. But they've changed it, haven't they? How the rewards work, and there's one part of it where if you play a different game every day for so long, you can get up to like 850 points.
Yeah, so, about 15 minutes on a game.
Yeah, that's it.
Every day.
So I've been playing all these crappy little games for 15 minutes, or some of them actually weren't crappy because I played some of the newer games, but just to put them on, just to get what I needed from the points. So it makes you want to play them, I suppose. And if you think that's a good game, then you might get back to it.
Yeah, but as we were saying about the gamer score, there is going to be, has been an upgrade to the gamer score so that you now get a badge for your gamer score levels. So the badges are for 1k, 3k, 5k, 10k, 20, 35, 50, 75, 100, 200, 500, 1 million, 3 million and 5 million. And then there will be a 10 million one as well.
There is yeah.
So, and because there's very few people who have actually qualified to get 10 million on the gamer score.
Well, I don't know what Stallion's on at the minute, though. I haven't looked recently, to be fair.
I have no idea, to be fair.
I've seen him recently pop up again recently on.
Well, I mean, he's probably the most well-known.
He was the first person, though, I think, wasn't it? Regardless of how he did it or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether. All I know is I saw stories that he'd been cheating and he'd been found out and he got into trouble. Whether or not they were true stories, God knows it's these days, isn't it? Because,
I know
there's a lot of misinformation.
Oh, yeah.
But I can't, it's like, as you're doing it full time and I can't imagine how many hours you'd have to be doing it to get 10 million, even with all of the cheating games. That would only account to at the most a couple of million gamer score if you had every single one. On every variation that's possibly going, you'd still have to get 8 million. I can't see how anybody could have even have done that, let alone anything else. But unless they just don't have a life. But it's just, I think this is just another example of how Microsoft is trying to dig itself out of the hole that Phil Trencher entrenched himself.
This is all to do with the new CEO, isn't it? So
yeah, and I think she's going in the right direction doing stuff.
Asher, yeah,
because we've got a new, obviously, Elite controller as well. There's been other stuff that's happened so far, but there's also evidently going to be a new cloud-based controller. Have you seen the mock-up of those?
No, I heard about they stopped doing the AI. They were looking to do AI Copilot for Xbox, and she said, no, just bin it.
Yeah.
You'll be able to do that.
But the new controller's much more squat as well, but it's designed for cloud gaming rather than Xbox. So, but the X Cloud, whatever it is that they're going to call it.
And obviously, you got the new startup sequence with the new logo. The new
I've
Xbox
not
logo,
seen that yet,
which
because I
looks
haven't
pretty
updated my
cool.
machine.
Yeah. Maybe it's probably never plugged on, so maybe you need to turn it on and see what happens.
I had it on about a week ago, so it must have come out since then.
It was Wednesday last week, apparently, I think. But
yeah, I think I was.
When I looked during the evening, it wasn't, because I looked myself. But I think timelines and everything else will be set. It probably was Thursday last week. That's when I got it, and I noticed my little pin badge for my gamer score.
Yeah.
Regardless of how small it is, it still looks all right.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, Paul, do you want to do about AC?
Yes, certainly, yeah. Great news, actually. And it's not something that's coming out next year. It's coming out even relatively soon, and that's like July the 6th, and that's the Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake, which is Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced. I watched a little bit of a video about it. It does look really good. I'll definitely be tempted to replay the game. I've probably not played the game since launch and completed it twice, because I finished it on PS3, and I bought a PS4 shortly afterwards and played it on PS4, which was a bit disappointing actually, because I was expecting it to be a lot better, but it wasn't. It was just like going from like 720p to like 1080p, so there were no real difference. But yeah. But they say they've enhanced not just the graphics, but the actual gameplay as well. So you can't just go in there and just sort of mash the buttons. Because what I used to do, I'd get into a crowd of bad guys and then throw down a smoke bomb, and then you just kill them all like one stab each or whatever. But they reckon all that kind of things start like being changed, so it's going to be a little bit more stealthy, which is not a bad thing.
Was Black Flag the one they did say it was from the 360, but because of the new machine, they put that out on that instead? Was that right? Am I thinking another game?
I'm not sure, but it came out on PS3 for
It
sure.
was Black Flag.
It was, wasn't it?
I think it was Black Flag it was Assassin's Creed Unity that was the Xbox One machine. Black Flag was the last mainstream one that was released.
But they released them at the same time to keep people happy or something, I think, because they said, I can't play Unity, but...
It was Assassin's Creed Rogue was the last one on the 360, but Black Flag was immediately before that. And then it was Unity on the Xbox One.
Hoping we can play that for free then on Premium, because of Ubisoft Plus, we get all of that as well. So
Probably, yeah.
Be nice to have a look at it.
I think it's going to be one of them games as well that it's not going to be like, they're never aiming for 60 quid. I think I could be guessing this, I haven't checked the price, but probably like a $39.99 game, which usually quickly translates into $34.99 if you buy it from a regular shop, like an Amazon or whatever like that. So I think that's going to be really, really good. I like my Assassin's Creed games. I know they've had a lot of hate. Ubisoft generate a lot of hate. I like their games, full stop. I like the formula. I mean, they might say they haven't developed them enough over the years, but you got to a point where you can only develop a game so much and do so many changes. So, but yeah, I've no hate for Ubisoft.
But I think it's as you said before, it's like, don't change the formula. People like Assassin's Creed, don't make it something it isn't, like the way that Valhalla kind of went. I really didn't like Valhalla. I still don't like Valhalla.
I've not played it. That's one I've not really gone.
But, it's like, I loved Odyssey, even though they had changed it quite a bit, but I still felt it kept that core aesthetic in there, whereas I just didn't feel it in Valhalla.
I think if they could do one little thing with a game like that, if they could, if they could add an extra sort of level, it's not just a difficulty level, but it's kind of like a traveling level. So like they might say, well, look, do you want an 100% scale adventure? So everything's like X amount of distance away, so it'll take you your usual amount of time. Or do you want us to scale the world down? So it's maybe, say, 50% of its size, and it's just the filler areas that are smaller, not the town areas. So to get from A to B would only take you 50% of the time. I mean, you could just say, well, just make the horse go faster, or perhaps add more transportation points in there. But I think if they give you the option to shrink the world or have it bigger, so it's just like the bigger areas that are expanded as opposed to like the main areas.
Well, this is where I sort of like thought games like Odyssey worked really well, because you could just either run there or use fast travel once you'd found the place, So,
well, you do. That's the one thing about an Assassin's Creed game, I will often, and when I first start playing it, if I see a fast travel point somewhere close to me, even though it's not part of my adventure on that particular mission, I'm probably going to hit up that fast travel point just so I can travel there quickly, because it does make a big difference, doesn't it? Fast traveling.
But the enemies, though, are going to be much harder. So if you just fast travel it till you got it and come back again.
I mean, one game I played recently, which was Oblivion, it didn't make any sense to me, because I was like, well, where's all my... I didn't remember, I'd forgotten about it, but the fast travel points are all there to start with. You can just fast travel from town to begin with in any case. And it's like I was trying to travel to places and I was struggling to travel there because I was such a low-level character at the time. So when I first started replaying the game from scratch. So, or they just put in more fast travel points to begin with, because I don't necessarily want... I mean, The Witcher's a little bit different because it seems to have a lot of story in between. There's a lot of things that's worth seeking out. You could go on like a little mini quest. It could turn into a 4-hour, 5-hour cinematic experience, almost like you're watching a whole season of something new. You know, the little mini adventure, and it'll be such an in-depth story. Whereas an Assassin's Creed little mini adventure is probably, you're picking up a bit of something to note, really, generally speaking. But I enjoy that still. Whereas The Witcher's got more significant mini stories, whereas the Assassin's Creed games can be some insignificant, unnecessary parts. So, yeah. I was looking at my Assassin's Creed Valhalla the other day, actually. I've got something like 96 hours in it. And I'm not even like 2/3 through the main story. And I bought the expansion as well. There's probably 180 hours or more of game there. Yeah.
At least.
Shocking. I mean, it's shocking. Because you might think to yourself, well, it's almost like they can't do right for doing wrong, and vice versa. It's like, I bought this game and it's too big, but I've been playing Capcom games recently, and they've been like generally like a 12 or a 14-hour experience, but it's been nice. You can see the ending. When I start that game, I know I'm going to finish it. With an Assassin's Creed game, I might not finish it for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Because I'm going to drop off, at some point and then come back on.
You don't want to burn out, do you? So
no.
That's the thing.
And that's the problem with Assassin's Creed games, or ones like Valhalla. You just have burnout.
Yeah. They've kind of given you... They've been too good to us. They've been too generous. They've made the games too big, which is... bigger was always better at some point, but the is too big,
Well, the thing is, storage is so much more massive now. So if you grew up with the storage, then all that you're doing is you're just adding more walking in between bits of doing stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool and it's nice, but it's unnecessary. So I think they've got to realise Capcom have got a real winning formula at the moment with their games. They're shortish and very enjoyable, and they're using their own engine as well, rather than using this Unigen 5.
But you're getting this problem, aren't you, where I think we've got that new Bond game coming out, and people are saying that you're going to pay £70 for a 20-hour game.
But what would you rather have? I'd rather have a 20-hour game that I'm going to finish and enjoy than, say, like, I don't know. I mean, what's better, playing my Assassin's Creed and playing it and getting through 2/3 of it, but having 90 hours of gameplay, or playing a game and getting the satisfaction of the ending? It's a hard one, isn't it, to weigh up?
I don't think it is, personally. I would much rather have a 20 to 30 hour game and pay 50, 70 quid for it than get something like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, where I've been playing it for God knows how many tens of hours, and I'm about 25% of the way through the story, and the whole areas around me have all leveled up way faster than I have and stuff like that, and I just can't do anything. So to me, I'd much rather have something that's a little bit more linear, a little bit more, where you are by the chapter that you're in and how much more you've got to go, because it doesn't tell you how long each chapter is, because some chapters in games like Halo 5, you had some chapters that were about 3 or 4 minutes and then other ones that were about an hour. So
yeah, I use YouTube, or sometimes I'll put in like where I am in a game and I'll say, how far am I in this game? Because I can get disheartened.
Or just use how long how.
Well, yeah, but sometimes you want to know.
Or just like one of the AI chat GPT or something, you can just ask it the question probably and probably give you the answer as well.
Yeah, and sometimes how long does it take to beat? Sometimes them guys there are beating them games. I play games sometimes like on easy. Well, I play them all on easy mode. If I play a game on easy mode, it might take me sometimes an extra 10 hours on top of what some of them guys are saying. You know, I know it's an average that they put on there. So, but if I
It
go onto
depends.
YouTube and you watch like a gameplay video, so you like scroll it to like a bit that you're probably at, it can take a bit. It can be a bit finicky to find it, but if it's kind of linear, as opposed to an Assassin's Creed game where you can go off in all directions, you can pick up how far. You know, if you're playing the latest Resident Evil game, you can tell you've probably got another 5 hours, or you're on the last. You know, you've got another 2 hours sort of thing left.
Yeah, games like Gears of War or whatever, where it's a very linear sort of story.
Yeah, it's nice to know where you are in a game.
Yeah.
You know, just to know that you're going to be able to finish it, because I don't know. It's tough. Some of these games are so big. It's ridiculous. It's like that Crimson Desert. I've played about 8 or 10 hours in it. I've not even scratched the surface. It's nowhere near scratching anything. I'm still liking learning mode, totally learning mode, you know. So some of the quests it's having me doing are very basic, and it's just sort of getting me to know exactly what I'm meant to be doing. So, but it's very good. It's an excellent game. I'm not dissing it, but yeah, you really do have to put the hours in. But it's worthwhile. If you put the hours in, you will get the fun out of it. So,
Paul, do you want to talk about the Nintendo Switch 2 stuff?
yeah, Nintendo they've kind of are like the good guys really in many respects. Although they've worldwide price increases. Japan for some reason had a cheaper console than the rest of us, but they actually adapted it so that it would only work in Japan. So I believe it would only have Japanese text in it. I dare say someone's managed to hack it to put UK, and so it'll play any old thing on it or whatever. But their prices have gone up immediately. But in the UK, in September, the price is going to go up by £50 for the Nintendo Switch 2, which I would almost say, based on the price of RAM and all the other components at the moment, I'll say the £50 increase is probably not that bad, you know, compared with what some of the other consoles could go up by. I mean, Sony put theirs up. I mean, Xbox put theirs up ages ago, didn't they? They're pretty steep now. So the price increases on the games consoles, they put them up. I think it was a while ago. I don't think they've had an increase recently.
I think no. I think the top premium of a version of a game is about £100.
No,
Not a game. For the
hardware.
The hardware. Oh, sorry. Okay.
But I will say, though, that I've been watching a couple of videos. I've got a bit of a soft spot for the Nintendo Switch 2. I do think it's a great games console, etc. And what people are kind of saying at the moment is that pound for pound, based on what you're getting for your money, is actually an excellent value handheld in comparison to some of the other more PC-based ones. I'm not talking Steam Deck. I'm talking like the Xbox ROG Allies, etc. As a pound for pound and for what it can do and the performance, etc., they say you're getting a good bang for your buck. And some of those consoles, naturally, unfortunately, they've got storage in them. They've got usually quite a bit of RAM in there as well. Their prices are skyrocketing. There's one other podcast I listen to, and they generally speak a lot about handheld consoles. And they were talking about Lenovo or something. I can't remember which one they were talking about, but it had 2 price increases, and it was something like £2,500 now for the handheld. You know, and this was something like that when they bought them, they were like, you know, weren't too happy about paying £900 for them. But because of these like price increases, they've now, in comparison, got a mega bargain. You know what I mean? So I'll say Nintendo have almost been generous, and I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo, that'll go up by £50, they will probably throw you a code in the box for a particular game as well. So you'll pay £50 more, but you might get, say, Mario Kart or Donkey Kong or whatever.
Yeah. Well, that's given me a time scale in which to get my Nintendo Switch 2 now.
Well, it's quite generous, really. It's normally like, oh, prices are off up tomorrow, guys, or they're off up next week. So till September, that's pretty good.
I think I'll, when I come back from Alaska, I think I know where I'll be going. I'll be going to Argos.
Yeah. Well, I'd say, yeah, great little console. Can't go wrong with them. And they're pretty bright as well, so if you want to play it outside, they work pretty well. But like I say, put an anti-reflective screen on them, really.
Yeah, okay. So otherwise, has there been another bit of news is about the Xbox Game Pass price. Ultimate is down to $16.99, Premium $10.99, and PC Game Pass is $10.99 as well. So glad to see that the new CEO's been reducing that price as well.
But then if you go elsewhere, it's even cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I were in
I'll
PC World, and they still had them. I mentioned this a little bit ago. I were in PC World, not PC World. I were in Curry's. What it's Curry's? They have them Curry's now. They used to call it Dixon.
Yeah,
it's same thing basically. But I were in Curry's, and they still have them up on their shelf, marked up at $11.99 for Ultimate, which is pretty good if you want to go buy the code.
Month, is it?
Yeah, just like you go and you get like a little credit card thing, you scratch the back off or whatever. I didn't attempt to buy one because what sometimes happens is you go to the desk and they ping it and it's like $16.99 or whatever. So, but yeah, said $11.99. I know they can change their mind if they so desired at the till.
Yeah, I'm paying. I do a 3-month stint every time. My next, because at the moment I just looked at my. It says there $16.99. My next payment in June for a month, but I can get 3 months for $39.99.
Yeah, which is not bad.
I mean, and also, 6 months you can go to 75. Oh, because I got discount, 20% off for the 3 months. 24. I get 24% off for the 6 month, which makes it 75. But I'll just go for 3 months at a time. I'm happy with that.
Well, yeah. Well, you did the right thing because perhaps if you'd have gone for, well, it depends. Obviously, if you'd have if your 3 months had run out, say like last month, you might have been stuck at the $22.99. All of a sudden, you might have bought 3 months and you've paid, I don't know, 55 quid for it, which might have seemed cheap at the time because it just put up to $22.99, so 3 times $22.99 is like 70 quid.
I did get an email from him quite early about it anyway. As I say, I always wait to near on the time it's going to fall over, and then I'll just put another one on. So I've just saved it in my favourites at the moment.
When I were using their £1 offer, I used to sign up just for a new account every so often whenever I fancied one. But even if I do this with any kind of subscription, generally speaking. If, for example, it's going to run out, say, like on Wednesday, but I'm not going to game again on it until, say, I might not game on it that particular weekend afterwards. I'd only resubscribe, like when I'm actually playing it, because you might end up with a week in between or 10 days where you don't use it.
But I'm a bit OCD with that, with Game Pass and everything else. I always make sure I'm just completely fully on, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, it's a reasonable price. You know what I mean? You can't really complain. You're getting a lot. No. You're getting a lot for your money.
You are. I mean, I'll just, as we're talking about this now and sort of subscriptions and stuff. I mean, I didn't buy the premium edition of Forza. I Game Pass downloaded the standard edition and bought the upgrade for it.
Yeah,
and that was only just over 30.
Yeah.
So
keep it cheap,
and you get the premium. You play it 4 days early. And you get all the cars, all the extra bits and bobs bolted onto it, like I do in most Forza games. So yeah. So that's how I like to play a game, really.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can go on to Loaded and get 3 months Game Pass for Ultimate for $39.99.
That's what I was on about. That's what I'm saying. I just didn't mention who it was.
If you're passing a Curry's next time, or if you got one in, if you're off shopping, go in, see if the prices are $11.99 and buy yourself a few. Because at $11.99, I know it's not that much cheaper. It's a little cheaper. And plus, you could then do that thing. You could just burn one this month. If you ain't playing for another couple of weeks, scratch your code off, use it then. So you can stretch it out.
Yeah.
But something about, I can't remember what, I think Hayden might remember this, about we like to keep everything flowing through with Xbox. So we just make sure we got the subscription running all the year round.
You see, I do that all the year round, including with PlayStation as well.
Yeah. I mean, for you to do 2 of them is a bit nuts, but obviously, if PlayStation Plus is worth it, I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot on PlayStation Plus.
The PlayStation Premium, which is, I get that, but I only buy it at a discount, and I use my Very account for buying, because I never use my Very account. They keep sending me these 20% off offers, or like spend 50 quid, save 20 quid, or spend 100 quid and we'll give you 40 quid back. You can end up buying like the PlayStation vouchers, for the credits, and then you wait till the end of the year when the sale is on, and then you buy it at discounted rates again, so it can work out. Sorry,
they do it unloaded as well anyway for PlayStation, so I don't know, do you get them from there?
Yeah, I actually bought the credits rather than the PlayStation Plus on there, because
Do you buy like £50 worth? Is it cheap that sometimes?
No, I bought £100 and I got £100 worth of credit for 84.
Well, if you wait till the sale's on for PlayStation Premium, well, probably 84 quid will probably get you there. You know, so you've got your £100 cheaper. You can make it cheap if you can get your timings right. It can be cheaper.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway, shall we move on to the new releases? Because there's loads of them in here. I'm not going to list them all, but we've got, before we go on to that, one final thing. Anybody who's interested, there is a free remaster of Star Wars The Force Unleashed that you can download as well. It's been remastered for 4K and everything, so worth having a look for. Okay, new releases. We've got Forza 6, or Forza Horizon 6 on the 19th of May, and Darksiders War Master Edition on the 19th. Let's have a look. I'm just going to skip through some of these ones. Hero Parades for Dead Spies, 21st of May. I'm not sure what that one is, but I do keep getting a lot of emails about it. Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight on PlayStation, Xbox and PC, May 22nd. We've got 007 First Light on the 27th of May. That's on PC, PS5 and Xbox. We've then got Yoshi and the Mysterious Book on a Nintendo Switch 2 on the 21st of May. Little Nightmares Enhanced Edition on the Switch 2 on the May 29th as well. And Monopoly Star Wars Heroes versus Villains on all formats on June the 11th. So there's a few games there.
Final Fantasy Rebirth, which I'll be picking up at some point.
Yes, indeed. There's Final Fantasy Rebirth as well. Forgot to. Where's that one? Can't see where. June 3rd.
Yeah.
The Gothic 1 remakes looks like it's going to be good as well, which is actually a really, really old game. Is Gothic 1? It's kind of like it's that old that you can pick it up for like peanuts. Yeah, like it's like a 99p game if that, if you go on like Loaded or whatever. But it's just like that little bit too old, and it's one of them games as well where it's kind of so old you might have like a bit of trouble getting it to run. Some games can be so old, getting them to run can be a pain. It doesn't like your Windows 11s and 10s or Steam Decks, and it looks like as if they're going to make a really good job of that one. So I'm looking forward to that one, Gothic 1 remake and Darksiders War Mastered Edition. I'm not sure what they're actually going to change that, but I actually bought it digitally recently for $7.99, that and Darksiders 2, because I heard the remaster was coming out. But I can't see what they're going to change with it, to be honest, other than they actually do said they're going to change the graphics. They're just going to make it like 4K as opposed to, I believe it was 4K on the Xbox One in any case. So I'm not sure what they're really changing with it to it, other than faster loading times. But hopefully it'll be a free upgrade as well. So if you've already got the game, stick it in and you should get the free game like you did with Darksiders 2, the free upgrade.
Yeah. Steve, do you want to do Game Pass?
Okay,
just pick out your choice ones from what's coming to Game Pass.
So Final Fantasy 5 on May the 5th. We've got Mixtape. That's already on there already because I've played a bit of that already. Outbound May the 11th. Ball of the Elder Gods on May the 12th. That's excluded from Game Pass Premium for some reason. Elite Dangerous, that's on May the 12th, but I thought that was already on there. Oh, the game's on Xbox, isn't it? It's just supposed to be on the Game Pass, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's about it, really. I think not a great deal.
Subnautica Dark Ages and Subnautica as well.
Yes, Subnautica. Yeah, I remember the first one. That was a freebie, wasn't it? Do you remember when Xbox Live went pear-shaped quite a few years ago, and they gave everyone that, didn't they? But Forza Horizon, I think, for me, is the biggest one of the month.
Yeah. I'll do PS Plus. So we've got EA Sports FC 26, Wu Chang, Fallen Feathers, Star Wars Outlaws, which is a much better game than people gave it credit for, Red Dead Redemption 2 as well, and Time Crisis. How are you going to play that without guns? I don't know, but there we go.
You might be able to use maybe like the touchpad on the PlayStation 5, you never know.
Yeah, maybe.
That would be painful though, wouldn't it?
It would be. I'd much rather have a proper gun.
You said a reticle though, couldn't you, obviously like you do for a third-person shooter or something?
Yeah, or unless you do the gyroscope aiming. But I think that'd be a bit, holding your controller up like that all the time would be a bit,
One thing they need to do on PlayStation Plus, Red Dead Redemption 2, why have they not made it 60 frames per second? It's just poor at 30 frames per second. I mean, it can't be that difficult to do. but they're not exactly renowned
God
for doing
only
stuff
knows.
for free, are they?
No, they're not. Well, they pretty much ditched Red Dead Redemption multiplayer, didn't they?
Well, was it the zombie one they did? I can't remember now.
Yeah, that was Red
Was that the
Dead
first one?
Redemption
Yeah.
1.
I don't think I finished Red Redemption 2, to be fair. I can't remember if I did finish it.
It's good. It's really good, actually. It's one of them games, again. It's so big that I probably played that over a number of years. You know, like you get the urge to replay it, you fall off it for like 18 months and then you go back on it again, and then you play it for another like 20 hours.
I mean, I played the first one out till my eyes bled on looking at the screen, to be fair.
I need to catch up with those ones as well, because I started them but went on to other things.
Well, if you've got the PlayStation, you know, you got your Portal, you can stream Red Dead Redemption straight to that.
I've got them on PC. Well, 2 I have anyway.
This is where I keep bleating on about cloud saving. It's like, because it's now turned up on PlayStation, I dare say it'd be convenient for you if you've got your Portal in front of the TV. You don't want to restart Red Dead Redemption 2 right from the very beginning, would you? You know what I mean? It's
But then again, there's some games you think you have to start from the beginning because you haven't played it for so long, you can't remember where you're at, what you're doing, what's left hand, what's your right hand.
Yeah. Need to reskill.
Big barrier to entry, some games, to re-entry.
Paul, do you want to do Prime Gaming?
Let's have a look through. There's quite a lot on here. Sometimes there can be a lot of fodder, unfortunately, but they're worth adding for free, for regardless. You've got Mafia 2, the definitive edition on GOG. The good thing with GOG games, they've normally messed around with them a little bit, so they do make sure that they do work, which is not a bad thing. Let's have a look through. You've got Xbox Enemy Unknown Complete pack on GOG again. Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon's Keep, which is like a little bit of a mini adventure. It's about 4 hours or so, I believe, to finish that one, which is good. This is on Epic Games Store. Let's have a little look through. Rebel Galaxy Outlaw on GOG. Monster Harvest on Epic Games Store. One called Pinball Spire, which could be quite good on GOG. And a lot of the other ones I've not really heard of, to be honest. They all seem a little bit sort of fodderish, which is not a bad thing. There's no harm if they're for free. Why not? Get them added to your library.
Rebel Galaxy as well as Outlaw. There's both versions on there on GOG. It's sort of like a 3-dimensional D Elite is the best way I can think of describing it from when I played it.
Yeah, I mean, but why not add them? Even if you play them for 10 minutes or you never play them, they're there in case you want to play them.
Well, yeah, I always add them just because.
Yeah, and why not?
And if you're quick off the mark after listening to this podcast or while listening to this podcast, you can also pick up Thunderfork Standard Edition and the Telltale Batman Shadows Edition on the Epic Games Store at any time up until May 21st at 4 p.m.
Yeah, on Hot UK deals, the Batman game got massive thumbs up. Everyone was...
It's a brilliant game.
Yeah. So it's not a fodder game. It's one of them generously we're giving you an excellent game, you know.
Well, it's Telltale game, so it's very much sort of like story driven kind of thing. So, Steve, do you want to go first on what you've been playing?
Okay, I've got the pages up there, have I? So with the upcoming release of Lord of Hatred on the Diablo, I picked up the Ultimate Edition, and what it gave me, I didn't realise this, and I thought I was playing the latest. I was playing the expansion before, and that's called Vessel of Hatred. So I thought, well, I might as well actually play along. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be a little bit behind, but I think I played it for about 20-25 hours to play Vessel of Hatred storyline, and it was really good. Graphically, again, the cutscenes of those games are just incredible. It gave you another character to use, which is a Spiritborn, which I use for that. And then when I completed that storyline, it just flowed me straight into Vessel of Hatred. Sorry, Vessel of Hatred. What's it called? Sorry, the Lord of Hatred. And I've literally... It's funny because it then showed me what I've been playing in the intro. So I just sat and watched all of that. And you started a new character because you got two more characters you can try. I'm trying the Warlock at the moment. I'll come to I suppose I'm going to call it a brick wall, where I've got a certain boss to beat and I nearly do it, and you think, oh, God's sake. So I'm trying to upgrade my character. I could be here all day talking about these sort of games, but they just added more extras on how the tree works for your skills. Basically, when you put it back on Hayden, if you ever do, you're going to say all these different bits and pieces have been added to it, and they've just given it a good shuffle and made it more appealing again. And it plays great. Yeah, Mrs. was moaning at me because it was banging away on the sub. Because you know what it's like those games with when you're doing multiple kills. Well worth picking up, I thought. anyone that's a fan of Diablo and maybe wants to go back to it, maybe pick up the Ultimate Edition. I did that via Loaded, funny enough. And well worth a play. I don't know. Do you play that sort of game, Paul, or not? Is that your thing?
I used to play quite a bit of Diablo 3, but I've not got into Diablo 4, which I should do really, because it is part of PlayStation Plus or Essentials, whichever one it is. So I do actually have the game. So yeah, I really should, and it's a game I do intend to put on. It's a game that once I get into it, I will play it quite a bit.
Because we have done in the past where we all just team up doing the story and stuff, bits and pieces.
Fantastic, yeah, sounds good.
So maybe one time if you do, or Hayden does as well, we could do a threesome, and then Hayden can just put that live somewhere.
Does it?
Idiots.
Does it do crossplay?
Where were you playing it last time? Do you remember?
It's cross-platform multiplayer.
Yeah.
I'm just looking on Steam now.
Yeah.
Because I've got it on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. To be fair, but obviously I'm more of a PC gamer.
Well, yeah, but you can play it wherever you want. It's the same game, isn't it? Doesn't really matter too much. But I just think I really have been getting into that while I've been waiting for Forza to come out. All I played was Diablo, nothing else. I went to Destiny. I'll go to Azure on a Friday, going down on Tuesday, pick my bits and bobs, and put it down. Don't even play FIFA at the moment. My football's a bit of a sore point. But yeah, Diablo is what I've been playing really up to 2 days ago, really, and thoroughly enjoying it. It's funny, when you haven't played it for so long, it takes a little while to get used to it. And although what you can do now more is you can make your own armor from scratch, basically. From the we always delete the early stuff, don't we? And we go for the legendary stuff and gold stuff, whatever it is. But they really thought well on this and how this works. So the only way to get to know the game again would be to start to play it again, really. But I was hooked on that, and I'm really enjoying it. I'd like to go back to it, but right now I'm on 4 wheels instead of 2 legs and a horse. So going into Forza. So I picked up the premium, as I said, I picked up the premium edition as an add-on, even though it's not on Xbox though yet, unfortunately, for some reason. I don't know why. Or maybe it wasn't, it was taken off. So I picked it up and loaded and got the complete VIP pass. I'm sure, Hayden's played Forza before Horizon, haven't you?
Oh yeah.
But not for a long time though, have you?
It wasn't that long ago. I was recently playing Forza 4, to be fair.
Right, okay. And Paul, have you touched a driving game like this?
I'll be honest with you, I'm not a massive fan of driving games. I generally need them with a little bit more fantasy, to like a Grand Theft Auto game or Burnout. I want some. I'm not.
Well, I would say then Burnout would be slight edge on that for what this game is now, because it's not just driving and following the road lines, obviously, from point to point, or from whatever you're going to be playing in whatever type of game you're going to go to within Forza Horizon, because you can go off piste, should we say, and just crash into trees and knock them down and build up your skill points that way. So, but I have to say the last game was a 10 out of 10. This game's a 10 out of 10. It looks gorgeous. Japan looks superb. Tokyo, where you start off, looks really, really good. The graphics and the cars as you go from turn 10, they're just second to none, really. Everything you expect to be in the game is in the game. So you've got your houses, you've got your different events with Forza Horizon, you've got your 4 barns and everything else to find. They have given a couple more, like they've got treasure hunts now as well, which is another type of car you can just pick up and find out in the wild. And they're a bit more rarer compared to the barn finds. But if you open up the map, if you've got the map fully opened and everything opened up, there'd be so much there to do. And as you say about regarding sort of Ubisoft with Assassin's Creed, it might be a bit daunting, but it's not really, because there's all different things to do. Within, obviously, because you got Fuji. Well, we're not in Fuji itself, but that's at the top end where you got the snow stuff. At the bottom end, you got Tokyo, and then you got some coastlines as well regarding that as well. So I compare this to the last one, which I think was Mexico, if I remember rightly. I think, and the one before that was Edinburgh, wasn't it, Scotland? But it's a wonderful place to drive, and they give you the newer version of some cars. They all sound incredible. I've turned off the radio a little bit because I don't mind listening to some Japanese radio, but I do like to listen to cars' engines, and I'll be popping around doing that. Your avatar, or should we say the AI in that, you do see some number ones in there from people that played it in the past, but there are people that are playing it now that are on there, which obviously you're against their AI character, unless you're going to go online. I'm guessing the servers were online now, but I don't think anyone's really doing that until the release date. on Monday. But yeah, it's everything you want in a Forza game. And again, as these are I think it's every other year or every 2 years they do these. I can't really remember. But this one you'll be playing for quite a while. I'm sure there'll be an expansion or two that will add on to this, like I did with the last one. Well, we had the Hot Wheels, didn't we? In one of the expansions, do you remember? The last one, I think, we had Hot Wheels.
I wasn't a fan of the Hot Wheels one. I felt it cheapened the Forza Horizon brand.
Yeah, and didn't they do a Lego one as well? I can't remember.
Yeah, they did. I think that both of them were a bit naff, to be quite honest.
Yeah, but keeping it to this and what they've been playing and how they're setting this up, it's just a superb game. And you're always finding things. I think it's funny because I've opened up. Does it say my time driving actually is 7 hours at the moment in the game, physically driving, which is and my total winnings is 2 million, and that's not cheating either. There are cars as well as say you got the barns and the treasures. There's another set of cars which are on for sale. You'll drive past a house and there'll be a car there, and you can purchase it. If you're a VIP, you get a bit more discount. But I've just been buying all the cars I can find because I just like to get all the cars, and OCD and me will want every car that's available if I can. I'm up to about 55 cars at the moment I've got. Obviously, that includes the one that come with the VIP passes and stuff. And what I do like about the houses are now a bit more interaction. So you can go into the garage and you can make the garage how you want it to look. So you can get rid of all the rubbish in there. You can build it. You can put an aquarium in there. You can put areas where you can put your nice cars and have them on display. So where you had that in the original Forza games, didn't you? You had a garage, one garage only, where you had a lot of cars up on, a very similar thing to that now, but it's more of a custom thing you can do. And also you can invite people to go and have a look at it. You can make it open to everyone, which would be quite interesting. I don't know for you, Hayden, but sometimes it's a lot hard work actually designing your own designs for cars.
I can't be bothered.
It is hard. It is hard work at the best of time. But what I like now is, as well as when you go onto that part of the game where you can look at what people have designed in that, you've got people who design actual designs for the whole car.
Yeah, because somebody's done Wayne's car from Wayne's World, hasn't he?
I've not seen it one yet. I saw the. I'll have to show this to my grandson because he's a bit of a fan of the Cars movie, the Disney. So you got, is it McQueen? I what it was called.
Lightning McQueen. Yeah.
Lightning McQueen. They've got the whole car, etched out on this vehicle, and it looks brilliant. Really does. Or I did. I've got a Subaru Impreza, and back in the day when we used to play those old rally games, I've got it set up like we used to for Colin McRae with all those emblems. You can purchase them all for free, so you don't have to spend any money there. The only place you spend money when you're building your garage, because you're going to be doing. You can download actual garages that have been made and people have designed, and you can even do it by them at a point. That's all coins out of the game. It's not like you're using real money in it. So I'm still finding out more things as I go, but there's too much to write down because there's so much to do. Where if I just give you my memory of what I've played so far in the game, yeah, utterly fantastic. And I'm sure a few people will be on it. I know there's a couple of people that listen to the game show that are already on it anyway. I've been talking to on Facebook, but yeah,
maybe we can definitely go playing it.
Well, we could go back to what we did. We could set up our own pop culture gamers crew, couldn't we? But yeah, I haven't touched the online stuff yet. I don't really want to touch it yet. I'll just wait till the server's probably next week. But yeah, no, maybe not your cup of tea, Paul. But,
do you know what? I thought it was because they do two different Forza releases, don't they?
Yeah, the Horizon one's the one that's more like Burnout.
Yeah. But is this one? Yeah, but what's the other one? It's Motorsports, isn't it? I thought this. Yeah. Well, I thought this was the. It was time for the motors. I thought this was Motorsports. For some reason, no. I thought that was the next one in the list. Forza Motorsports.
Yeah, I think number 6 was last time, which you can still. I've got that in my box.
I did play the Forza Horizon, the Edinburgh one, quite a bit actually. I thought it was really good. In fact, it's like you do say, it is a burnout-y game. If you want to go around just creating mayhem or just having fun, it's all there to be done. Yeah. It is a playground almost, if you want it.
Exactly, and from playground games as well, which is quite apt, really. I mean, I do. There is some customization with the making your own events as well, which I've not looked at that yet. So if you wanted to do something for a group of you can just make your own ones. Like you can do that in GTA, for example, couldn't you? You could do some online stuff. But yeah, also there's a lot of drag racing in this one as well, in most areas. So that's been a good bit of fun as well with some of my cars, trying to see what my speed can be between A and B on that. When you get to the board on the side, big sign, and it shows you what your time is at, and it will show you the first, second, and third as well in it. So it gives you what to work for. if you're that way inclined. Do you remember? I think it would have been the last one where we had. Was it a train we were chasing as well on a? Do you remember? This time there's one of those. I've just got to it and I've recorded it. I've done a load of recording, so instead of seeing me waffle, you can put some of those on if you like. But it's no real spoiler because I've seen it everywhere. But I'm going to just say this though: racing a mech in Japan versus a car was fun. Really, really enjoyed that. It took about 2.5, 3 minutes to do it.
Yeah, well, if you send us a video, I'll put it on so that people can see it when we're talking about it.
It's honestly, that was great fun to do that one. But I just today I wanted to get into the mountain just to get to that house I bought for 63,000 coins, and I just purchased the one in the top of the mountains where the snow stuff is, so I can maybe go up there at some point and try some of the ice and snow events as well. So yeah, really good. Thoroughly enjoying it.
Cool stuff. Paul, what have you been playing?
I've been playing quite a few games. I won't go too deep into them. One game that popped up, I like to go on Hot UK Deals, see what offers are on about. I'm always chasing a bargain, even though I don't need any more games. But there's always something to buy in there for £2.99 or £3 or £4. There's always another one to buy that you don't need. So anyway, one that popped up, and it's kind of been on my radar. And that's, I did actually play it when I had access to Xbox Game Pass, and that was Dragon Age Origins, the first game. Now, I have a Steam Deck. I do have a PC, but I don't really want to sit at the desk and play games. But I thought, you know what? I'll buy it on Steam. I'll buy it and I'll play it on my Steam Deck. But as soon as you dig deep into this thing, it doesn't work very well on Steam Deck, and it doesn't work very well unless you want to play it via GOG, and then it can still crash as well. But the one that's meant to be like the best version, or the most not necessarily the best version, that would be incorrect, the most stable version that you can play with a controller on a TV without too much inconvenience, is the Xbox version. Because it's pretty well supported still. They bumped up the frame rate to 60 FPS, which is very nice. But the game is 720p, which is a little bit of a downer. But generally speaking, a modern TV, if you're playing it on a 4K TV, it's going to upscale it, so it's going to look pretty good in any case. And plus all the textures on those old games, even if they did bump it up to, say, 4K within the game, the textures are still, they're not going to replace all them textures with the latest textures. It's still going to be old blocky textures. So, but anyway, I thought, you know what, Dragon Age Origins, it's on sale. It's something like £2.89. Get it bought. You can play it on your Xbox Series S upstairs because it's digital. You can play it downstairs. But then, this is a thing that always twists me a little bit. I started to have a little look. I thought, well, I'll just buy the Ultimate version online. Now, they don't just sell the Ultimate version. The Ultimate version's got quite a lot of extras on there if you read into it. And you've got to buy each one individually. And it really mounts up. It's about £25 by the time you finish buying it. And that's after you bought the game at £2.89 or whatever. And then when you go online, I did a bit of a deep dive. I spend more time researching the game than playing it. That some of these add-ons are actually quite essential to the story and are well worth playing. So that's enough to make me start thinking about it. So anyway, I think, you know what, there's only really one thing for it. Let's have a look on eBay. What's going on eBay? Now, if you want to buy Dragon Age Origins on eBay, you want to just press buy it now. Your average price is about £21 with delivery. And this is for a 360 game. It's the Ultimate Edition, which is fair enough. You're getting a lot for it. And in comparison with buying it online, it's not a bad deal. So anyway, I was fortunate enough, I held out, and I managed to pick one up for £15 with delivery, which was still a little bit. I mean, it's an Xbox 360 game, but I do know that if I ever want to resell it, it's either going to go up a little bit in price or I'm going to get my money back. And that's what I always aim to do if I'm buying a game. I want to either get my money back on it after I've finished playing it or earn a little bit on it. You know, you might not earn much, but whatever. So I don't really want to lose any money on a game. I tried to keep my game in as cheap as possible. And it turned up. And I tell you what, it's absolutely in fantastic condition considering the age of the game. The discs ain't scratched. The manual's got like a little teeny tear in it, you know, like where it goes into the case and you got the little hooks over it to hold the manuals in place. So it's just got like a little tear there. So yeah, I played that for probably about 2 hours. It is looking old now, is that game though. But it's meant to be a classic game. So, but that then led me on to wanting to play a bit more Dragon Age. I've got Dragon Age Inquisition. I played that for a couple of hours. I originally completed that on PC, but I didn't do all the DLC. So I bought it on Xbox. But then I did something which I didn't really want to do. And it led me to play Dragon Age Veilguard again. And it's a game I've absolutely disrespected in the past because they've really lost the plot with that particular game. And I put it on and I didn't even have it installed. I did it via streaming on PlayStation. And I played it and I couldn't turn it off. You know, like when you start playing a game and it's like 2 or 3 hours have passed. So I'm actually probably going to go back and replay that. Well, I'll finish it. I played a bit of Final Fantasy 12, which is one of my Switch games, so I played it out in the garden. Pretty difficult to play in the garden, is that, especially when you're in a dungeon, because in particularly dark scenes, it's tough going. And plus, I've been stuck on a particular part, you know, where it's one of them games. If I look at my save games, I might have been, say, like 18 months old. So, and I'm still stuck on this same point. And sometimes you can put this game on and think, oh man, I'm still stuck on this same point. What am I going to do? So I watched the YouTube, and it's just because I hadn't been going far enough into this particular level. So I managed to get past that. And then I'm about 2 or 3 hours further into the game now, which is fantastic. So it's going to be my garden game again, because I'm back outside. I'm not in one of the dungeons, and I've got my anti-reflective screen on, so I'll be able to see a bit more in the dark. And I'll tell you what, I did play on Switch as well. And if you haven't got it, it got a bit of disrespect when it first came out, and that is Doom 3. Now, they have enhanced it over the years. They did release, they re-released it in 2012 and added quite a few extra little bits to it and upgraded it and stuff. But because it's not really Doom as in like Doom, the original Doom, they've turned it into more of like an adventure game. You know, where you've got to go around, find different things, flick certain switches, do little certain missions, quite a bit of storyline. It's not just pure shooting. It got a lot of disrespect back in the original day. So I've been playing that, and that's another game I was probably about 8 hours into it. And I kept thinking, I must be near the end. And when I actually took a look on YouTube to figure out where I was, because I had actually got stuck on that game as well, so I had to watch like a bit of a guide on it. I was only about halfway through. So I played that for about another 8 hours, and I've got about another 2 hours left. And then I discovered, actually, I didn't even realise this, I'd started the campaign on the game, which is cool, great. But I'd kind of like done a little bit of, often when I finish playing the game, I might go on to say like Steam or Reddit and have a little bit of a read up about certain things. And then it dawns on me, this game hasn't just got a campaign, it's actually got 2 quite big DLCs with it as well that you can play. And you can just start them separately. So I've actually got Doom 3 via PlayStation, the PlayStation version via PlayStation Essentials, whatever. So I haven't bought the game, but it's part of the catalogue. And so I've started the campaign, not the campaigns on there, the DLCs on there. The advantage of playing it on the PlayStation is that it's 4K as opposed to the 1080p. But you can't really tell any difference, you know what I mean? I mean, it's an oldish game. But I tell you what, it's a quality game, and you can pick it up pretty cheap on PC if you haven't got it. Perfect for a Steam Deck or anything like that, or even like a lower end PC. Absolutely fantastic. I highly recommend playing that. I played a bit more Crimson Desert. One of the features in that Crimson Desert, and I wish to do this in more games, I mean, I'm really, really, really bad when it comes to like people talking in a game or they're telling me stuff, and I just keep pressing the button. I don't want to. I'm not interested. Just keep pressing the button, they're telling you something. Well, the good thing with that Crimson Desert, instead of you pressing the button, I mean, you can just bypass it if you like, but it actually has a multiple speed on the speech. So you can set the speech to say like 4 times. And at 4 times rate, I'm prepared to listen to it because it'll just whiz by. I understand what they're saying. And it's done in like 20 or 30 seconds rather than taking 2 minutes to explain something to me that I'm not necessarily all that interested in. Excellent feature is that on there. I really like that. I've been playing some more Switch games, which is Akami, and it originally was released on PlayStation 2. It's about like the Japanese dog, where you get like you go into like this Japanese world. It almost looks like it's all sort of like drawn in old sort of style Japanese graphics. I think it's Capcom. Yeah, it is Capcom. Excellent game. That's another game I thought I must be near the end. I'm only halfway through on that. Loads to do on that, and they're about to. They're not about to. They've announced Akami 2, and it's been many, many years. What else I played? I played a bit of Mario RPG. I wanted an RPG experience which wasn't going to take me 40 hours plus. And Mario RPG, you're meant to be able to finish that in about 15 to 20 hours, which is relatively short for an RPG, adventure type game. Man, that game's super cute on Switch. Great graphics, good fun, great music. Everything about it is really, really good. So I've been enjoying that. I had a bit of a cull as well on my PlayStation, because as probably everyone does, if you've got like one of these subscriptions, they bring out a new game, you think to yourself, oh, I'll play that at the weekend. You set it to download, and it's on your hard drive, and then next month more games come out, and you think, well, I can't fit anything else on the hard drive now because it's full of games I downloaded last month I haven't bothered to play. So I went on a bit of a cull on Saturday, getting rid of a few games. But it seems to be the games that seem to linger on there the most are generally the games which are, say, like 4 or 5 gigabytes, because if you're going to delete a game, you generally have to delete a big game to put on another big game. So there's no point deleting all these 4 and 5 gigabyte games, because you'd have to delete like 10 games to put one game on. So you're generally deleting one big game to put another big game on there that you're not going to play. So I went through a few games. There was one game called Crab Adventure. I played that for about an hour or so. I thought it was okay. I didn't delete it, but whether I ever go back to it or not. Another game called Call of the Sea, which is a big adventure game, which is more one where it's all...
completed that one.
Yeah, it's a lot. It looks really good. Lots of nice puzzles. I got to the island. I did a couple of puzzles. Got into like the main sort of villagey bit. And then I thought to myself, do you know what? This is exactly the sort of game where I can do the first few puzzles. And then I'll get to, like, say, the 4th or the 5th puzzle. It'll bamboozle me so much, I'll be on YouTube.
No, they're not that complicated.
They're not that complicated. Well, I sort of played it and I thought to myself, it's difficult, innit? You think to yourself, oh, I'll just leave it on there. So I thought, do you know what? I'm going to get rid of it. So I got rid of that one. And potentially, like, start to download again if I want. And another one, which was like on PlayStation, like some Beat Radio or something they called it, where you're some kind of like skater. You're kind of escaping from like a police cell at the beginning. You got to go around doing graffiti on things. I played that for about an hour and I thought, you know what, I just ain't going to play. So that got deleted.
Was that like the old Dreamcast game?
Yeah, the thingy radio, what they call it, Jet Set radio. Yeah, I believe it's meant to be some spiritual successor to that or something along them lines. The graphics are the same or very, very similar. It's all that like nice. I really like them shell-shaded type looking games like Borderlands and such like it. I think they look really good. But then I hit on a game that's in my pile on the hard drive, I should say, called Indica. And this is just like the Senua games, where it's very, very dark in a very depressing sort of like, I don't know, this might be, say, like 1920s Russia or somewhere like that. It's a very depressing, cold environment. And basically, Indica, she's a nun, and for probably the first 20 minutes, and this is meant to, be part of the thing, is that it's very mundane is the game. She's got to do very mundane tasks, like she's got to go collect some potatoes, and she's got to fill up this barrel with 5 lots of water, and then the game begins, if you know what I mean. She gets sent on a quest to go take this letter to some priest or other, and then along the way, lots of different things start happening. But boy, what a game that is. It's got the puzzles in there, similar to Senua. It doesn't actually have, I haven't come across any of it yet, where you kind of got to go, fighting things, etc. I haven't fought any big baddies. And I will highly recommend you play it. It's dark, it's funny, and there's lots of that where it's going off in the background, where it's like talking in your head. She does a lot of praying. When she does her praying, the environment changes around her. So like when she prays, you can go to like a different point, then you stop praying, and then you can go up this ladder, which ladder wasn't there before, but when she prays again, it disappears. So it's that kind of thing. But yeah, great storyline. It's meant to be about 3 or 4 hours. I'm probably like 90 minutes into it. I'm definitely going to finish it 101%. And it's by a game called, I think it's called 11-Bit. They did another game that I really liked. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. So yeah, it's surprising what some of these games, you don't realise some of the other companies. But the big one I've been playing basically is Pragmata, which is Capcom's latest game. It's the guy, Hugh, the guy in the spacesuit, and the girl robot. And
this is a whole new franchise that they've started, isn't it?
It is, and I'll tell you what, they're really nailing it, Capcom, because they're releasing games. It said it had taken, the average is meant to be about 14 hours to do it. I've finished it now. I did it in about 16 hours. And the good thing is, there's plenty of extras to do afterwards, because there's lots of hidden upgrades around the place, and you get a particular add-on to your suit or whatever, which if you press it, it will give you a general direction as to where certain things are. And the levels within the game are very sort of multiple. You could like go out of one thing and then find another bit where you can jump up and go around the back of something else to pick up an upgrade, etc. And it's actually really enjoyable. And the fighting on it is absolutely brilliant. The way that you kind of got to hack these things, you think to yourself, oh man, I can't be doing that. Hacking, and then I've got to shoot them as well. And then there's other bad guys coming at me. But it does slow down a little bit on purpose. Yeah, if you're going to get it, I highly recommend it. But it is a 16-hour game. What I will say though, there's at least another 10 hours worth of stuff to do after the game, and then if you want to new game plus it as well obviously that's another all different thing. It's super cute. It's really good. I highly recommend it. I had thoughts that that the little robot was going to be things. It wasn't all what it quite seemed. But yeah, really good. Really enjoyed it. But other than that, I've not really played much else. What have you been playing, Aidan?
Other than all of that.
Yeah, there probably will be a couple of other little ones which, but they haven't been on for long enough.
Well, I'll talk about a few different things, but I know we need to get on. So the Steam 2 controller, like I said before in the intro, pick mine up. This thing is absolutely fantastic. Get hold of one if you use Steam, just pure as. Obviously, it's a second generation Steam controller. I do have the original somewhere. I think it might be around here somewhere, but I can't remember where. And obviously, it doesn't have the two stupid big eyes that the last one does. It's got the normal controllers. But basically, everything they've learned a lot from the Steam Deck and put it into this. You've got the buttons on the back as well. These do feel like you can catch them quite a bit, but they're not. They're a bit harder to press than anything. Than just general holding on, unless you suddenly grip it. So in terms of the features, then, so it has. Obviously, the dual tunneling magnetoresistance sticks, or TMR, which, if you haven't heard of these before, these are the next thing after Hallmark to stop stick drift. So rather than having potentiometers or Hallmark sticks, these have got TMRs in them. You've got the two 34.5mm trackpads on it, which obviously have haptics relating to that, and the 4 fully remappable buttons on the back. You've got your standard buttons, just like everything else, but you've also got the view menu and quick access menu as well. The controller itself also has 6-axis gyro aiming in there, and another thing that they call grip sense. Basically, that tells the controller can tell whether or not you're holding it with two hands, one hand, or you put it down on a desk. And if you do any of them, you can actually set in the configuration things to do. Like, for example, rather than trying to do a convoluted number of buttons to reset your view or press down on L1, which is quite a common one, you can just release your hand and then grab the handle again, and then you can set it to lock back on normal view when you're doing third person mode and stuff like that. So there's all sorts of really weird stuff that you can do with this. But it's the most configurable controller you can possibly imagine, because the Steam interface in the background has an awful lot for the user configuration with it. There's 4 linear resonance actuators, or LRAs, in the haptic motors as well. There's support for up to 4 controllers per puck, and this is what your puck looks like. And the other thing as well is, for charging, it literally just clips magnetically onto the back, and you can play like that as well. So that's absolutely fantastic. It does Bluetooth pairing, and you can also do it wired via USB-C. It's got a 8.39 lithium-ion battery with, how many hours do you reckon playtime?
9, 10,
15.
Well, add both of yours together,
about
Paul.
32.
You're 15 and 15, and then half of what Steve said. 35 plus hours gaming time on it. So it's absolutely fantastic. It feels really comfortable to play with. I used to get, well, I still do, get a bit of cramp using the Steam Deck. I don't know, do you, Paul? Yeah. I don't get cramp with this, and I've been playing this for hours. And there's a great feature, which is, if you drop the controller, there's about a 1 in 4 chance of you getting the Wilhelm scream from the controller. So that's a little Easter egg that they've built in. And I know that when you're like watching Linus Tech Tips or whatever, and it says, oh, it does this, and you go, yeah, you're just trying to troll people. No, they've actually built it in to the controller as well, which I thought was absolutely hilarious when I tried it. So, but it's only about 1 in 5 to 1 in 6 times when it will activate. It's not every time it falls, but it's quite funny. So that's the controller. I give it a real solid thumbs up. It's my new favourite controller. just because of everything that you can do with it. They've taken what the Steam Deck controller could do and applied it to proper PC gaming. To me, should now be the default controller for PC. And the other thing as well is in the controls, even though it's not in the game, you know, where you've got like Y or whatever to do certain controls, you can actually set the trackpads to have like either a square or a radial menu where you can then tie it to certain things like, you know, change to weapon 1, change to weapon 2, change to weapon 3, and that sort of thing. And you can give little icons on the screen so that you don't have to touch the keyboard. You can map it, you know, onto the thumbsticks as well, having those sub menus, which is a really fantastic sort of feature to play. So that's a Steam controller. It's 85 quid in this country, $99 in America. So yeah, definitely worth it. It's more expensive. To be fair, it feels very plasticky, but I prefer this sort of controller, you know, like the plastic shell, than the Xbox controller where the rubber comes off.
Well, funny enough, you should say that because obviously I had the issues with the Elite controllers, didn't I?
So did I.
2 generations, but this one here, you know, no, you can see, you won't be able to see this, but I can see how much I played it because the thumbsticks themselves are worn in corners where I've been leaning, but the actual back of it is perfect still, you know?
Yeah.
So
I think they've had a lot of trouble with people complaining about the Xbox controllers, or the Pro controllers. Sorry, Elite controllers rather.
Yeah, and with that new Elite controller coming out, I mean that's going to cost an arm and a leg, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think I'll be getting one of them.
No.
I've got 2 Xbox Elite and an Xbox Elite 2 controller, so I'm not going to do any more.
No.
So the other thing that I've been playing is Directive 8020, and I've actually completed this game just before we started today. This is a new game from Supermassive, who have obviously done games like Until Dawn and the Dark Pictures anthology. This is another sort of like Dark Pictures game.
Oh, is this the new one that's coming on the Xbox as well?
Yes, and on PlayStation, and this is a sci-fi game like Until Dawn. It's got Monica Rambeau from the Marvel movies on this, who was in the Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
She was Captain Marvel in the alternative dimension as opposed to Brie Larson.
Yeah.
But she was Brie Larson's friend in Captain Marvel. So, yeah, that's... that she's one of the main characters, but it's very much typical Until Dawn sort of play where the choices have real results in the game. When I completed it, I lost one member of the team. I mean, both of the first 2 characters you see, they die no matter what.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's a standard sort of Until Dawn game. But I managed to save... 7 out either 6 out of 7 or 7 out of 8 characters in total. It's a really good story. There's a massive twist in it as well, which made it really quite compelling. Really enjoyed the story. It was really compelling. You can go back and you can go down different trees in the options for, you know, where things differ, and some of them join back together, and otherwise some of them just create new branches entirely.
Not the butterfly effects and stuff like that, which is the point of,
Yeah, exactly. So you get very different sort of scenarios depending upon how you play. But it's a Supermassive game, so it's like high quality graphics, but with a telltale sort of twist. But this one, there's a lot of stealth in it because you have to avoid, I'm not going to say what, but certain things.
Yeah,
enemies in this game. And you have to do a lot of sneaking and stuff like that. But it looks superb, and it's a brilliant story. And yeah, this one, I've seen pictures of it, but I didn't know what it was. I didn't realise it was Supermassive, and then I saw it was Supermassive. And I was actually looking at Pragmata. I was thinking, I think I might buy Pragmata. Saw this, and I thought, nope, I'm going to get Directive 8020.
Yeah, because they're Supermassive. I mean, I played Until Dawn on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
On there, back in the day. And that was superb. the earlier game they did, I think. Didn't they do one before that back in the day, I think? I can't remember what it was now.
Thought Until Dawn was the first one.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay. And are those...
it was a Dark Pictures anthologies with Man of Medan and...
You see, I've got 3 of those. Is that it now? Is there a 4th? I've not even played them yet. I've got them on the box.
Directive 8020. It says it's a Dark Pictures...
That's the 4th one.
Story, yeah. No, that's the 5th one.
So I've got House of Ashes, Little Hope, and Man of Medan.
I'm sure that there was 4 already.
Maybe
Is it similar to Detroit Become Human? Is it that level of interaction?
But it's even better than that.
I keep meaning to go back to Detroit Becomes Human. So yeah, it's a sort of game I'd definitely be interested in.
And also like Two Souls, Beyond Two Souls and Heavy Rain as well. But there's no Jason.
I think I've got them sitting up there, actually. Oh, I've got one there. I think so. Yeah.
But yeah, because I didn't know that Little Nightmares was actually a supermassive game. But yeah, there was The Quarry as well.
I haven't
The Devil in Me, House of Ashes, and Little Hope, and Man of Medan.
Yes, there's only 3 of those.
Until Dawn, Rush of Blood as well. So those are all of the games that there's been. And they always have really interesting plot twists in them. So really well worth it. It's probably by the time you've done all of the different variations, you're probably looking at about 25 hours, but I would think it was probably about 15 hours I was playing it, which some people might think, oh, that's quite expensive, but it was relatively cheap unloaded to buy.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I'm sure this will be one that will be given away at some point.
Oh, okay. So the other one, there's the creator's cut as well from Dark Pictures. I own that as well. Man of Medan, the creator's cut. I don't. Do you know what that is?
No, I don't know what that one is.
So there's 4 of them in total. The other one's called Devil in Me.
Devil in Me, yeah.
Yeah, that's on that one. Yeah.
I think Devil in Me was one where you're in Egypt or something or other like that.
I don't know. I don't know what the actual right order is to play them, to be fair. Because one of these days I'll download one at a time. Actually, if you download the creator's cut, you get them all sitting there on the menu, and you can then go from there.
Yeah. So definitely well worth playing. Directive 8020. The other game I've been playing, which Steve you won't like, is RoboCop Rogue City Unfinished Business.
I've got it on my pile of shame to play that. I love the first one.
Yeah, so this is just, it's basically, if you've played Rogue City, it's the same sort of thing, but just with a slightly different story. You play RoboCop, it's a first-person shooter. It really does the movies faithfully. It's got the characters voiced by the same actors. The graphics are all done in the first of, was it Paul Verhoeven's first movie?
Yeah, it was, yeah. With pear shapes after that.
So, unless you're a RoboCop Philistine like Steve, you will greatly enjoy this game.
Sorry, I like things to be right. You do a game. Right. No, it was not. It was not. I'm stating you now. You watched a different film.
You're outvoted 2-1 here.
No, I've got other people in my camp that aren't here.
First one.
I liked the Terminator game they did before that as well. I thought that was good.
Yeah, I played that. That was good.
Yeah. They're like Capcom games at 14, 15 hours or thereabouts, maybe 10 or 11 hours. But yeah, you're going to finish them. You might do it in 2 or 3 sessions,
Yeah, exactly. And I prefer games like that, and it's very linear, and I think that's absolutely fine.
Yeah, I'm into linear at the moment. I want to go from A to B, not A to Z.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so anybody got anything else to want to add, or shall we go on to movies, TV, and streaming?
No, let's move straight on.
Okay, we'll go on to that then.
In quest of a better life.
Okay, movies, TV, and streaming, and bearing in mind it's 9:20 already, so I think we'll have to steam through some of this. Cinema releases coming out: The Mandalorian and Grogu. Can't wait for that one. I'm being a big fan of The Mandalorian. I'm not a big fan of Pedro Pascal, but I do like The Mandalorian as a series. So other than that, I don't think that there's much else that's really...
Tom and Jerry, The Forbidden Compass, come on.
Really?
No, I like Tom and Jerry vintage. That's all I like about Tom and Jerry. The vintage stuff,
Masters of the Universe could be good for some people.
Yeah, Masters of the Universe is on the 3rd of June. Scary Movie 6 I think that one will be a good one. There is Savage House coming on and Mad Fabulous and then Kemet Year Wrong. But the big one for me is 12th of June, which will be Disclosure Day. The
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg movie.
I hope it's not a bomb.
I don't even know what it's about. It's totally passed me by that a new Steven Spielberg film's coming out.
I think it's like a spiritual successor to
Close Encounters.
Close Encounters.
Really? Wow.
It's an alien. It's basically about aliens somehow in some sort of fashion.
Is he actually directing it? Because often he might just be like,
Yes.
Yeah, he directed it. Yeah,
because it's a big thing to do that, innit? You know, like if you've made such a classic, and it's like Lucas, you know, when he redid his Star Warses or whatever. It's a big one to do.
I think John Williams is doing the score as well, so that'd be great. If it's all. Like,
I thought he died recently.
No.
He must be getting old now. I mean, he is amazing.
He's about 90, I think.
Yeah. Wow.
If Richard Attenborough can get to 100,
yeah, that's
you know.
Yeah, definitely. So, who wants to do the charts?
Where are the charts? Oh, we go. Shall I do it? So backwards, then we've got Mortal Kombat number 2 at 5. Billie Eilish, Hit Me Hard and Soft, the tour. The Sheep Detectives at 3. Michael, which is a Michael Jackson biopic, at 2. And Devil Wears Prada 2 at number 1. I will see Michael. I do want to see that, but that's about it there.
Yeah, they do say it's quite good. I actually saw The Sheep Detectives at the cinema this week. Really, really good. I mean, you can't really go too far wrong with a Hugh Jackman film, I find. If he's in it, it's usually good. You know, you can't go far wrong with it. And the missus, she doesn't like any horror films. She's not big into her action films. This is about, you know, if you're going to go to cinema, this is about what I'm going to be. This is the sort of thing we're going to go see, really, unless I can convince her, because she says I only watch odd film. You know,
well, that's right.
Like,
yeah. I take the missus occasionally to the cinema, but it's for a big movie if it's going to be.
Yeah, it's got to be something else. And one I wouldn't mind seeing is Mortal Kombat 2. I'm not a Mortal Kombat fan, but I do like the guy that's in it, the guy that used to play the Doctor in Star Wars. Star Trek. Yeah, and he did Judge Dredd, and I thought he was amazing in Judge Dredd.
He was. And there's a rumour that he might be going to reprise that role as well. But have you seen him in The Boys?
The Boys, is that the Amazon thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I might have watched some of it, like the first season.
You've got to watch The Boys. It is absolutely fantastic. Me and my son, Fridays, because I only work half a day now on Fridays because I've condensed my hours, so I get Friday afternoons off. Me and my son sit down and watch The Boys religiously on a Friday afternoon. It's absolutely fantastic. It's like a gritty version of if like superheroes really were in the real world and what would actually be like.
Not like Marvel.
No, not like Marvel at all. The heroes are really not heroes at all, and the boys, led by Carl Urban, as Butcher, he wants to kill Homelander, who's like their version of Superman, basically because he raped his missus, sort of thing. And then she had a child to him, which he didn't know. He thought that she'd been killed. So yeah, it's a brilliant show. It's based on the comic strip, the same as all of the others. I mean, it's one of those things of there's a lot of swearing and a lot of nudity in it, and some of that nudity is absolutely hilarious because the people get injected with compound V, as it's called, and then they get random powers. And there is one guy who, shall we say, he uses his manhood as a weapon because it's several meters long.
Wow.
Yeah,
it's funny. He looks the part of it, doesn't he? In Mortal Kombat 2. I'm just looking at a screenshot.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I think it'll be a film worth watching. Well, although I might go see that at the cinema, and I'll tell you why. I generally have a perception of going to the cinema that it's expensive. When we went on like I think it was a Tuesday or a Wednesday this week, and we used the Meerkat 2-for-1 thing. I got like a holiday policy through them like last year, so you get like 2 cinema tickets. But when we went there on a Monday, all your film tickets are $4.99 in any case. So I potentially will go see the new Star Wars film, and I might go see Mortal Kombat 2 because the good cinema is a bit of a drive for me. So you wouldn't really just want to go see one film. Ideally, you want to go see 2, maybe 3 if you can. And at $4.99, even I'm not that tight, right? I'll take my own popcorn, but I will pay $4.99 quite happily to sit in the cinema to watch a film.
I do like to have my comfort, and I do like to have the right sound as well. But if it can be cheap, nasty, I don't go. I'd have to go into it. I want it all. I I want the full experience.
Well, these are showcase deluxes or whatever, that, and so they've got reclining seats, but as standard, and the sound and the picture. I'm a bit of a fussy bugger when I go, because the first cinema I ever went to was the Odeon in Leeds, and that at like 5 years old or whatever, and that is considered, honestly, people say, oh, it can't have been as big as what you remember it. Honestly, it is. It was considered one of the biggest cinemas, like in England. The screens were genuinely humongous, and even for like a 5-year-old watching, like say a 6-year-old or whatever, watching Star Wars, well, then it was, So when I go to a lot of these modern cinemas, I'm like, I might as well be sat at home. I sometimes think to myself, because when you're sat that far back and you're looking at the screen, it's not even filling all your vision. It's like, So yeah, but they're just about the right size at the showcase, and the reclining seats, and it's nice, it's clean in there, it's a nice cinema. So yeah, I might go like on a Monday, and I might actually, because I don't think there's been any Star Wars film I have not seen at the cinema. Although I did watch the trailer for this at the cinema because it was on via the Sheep Detectives, and I thought to myself, do you know what? I do like the TV show. What ultimately is this giving me that couldn't have been on Netflix? And not Netflix, on Disney Plus.
Disney.
You know what I mean? Is it going to be the TV show dialed up to 12 or 11 or whatever, you know what I mean? Or am I just going to get 2 episodes?
Well, I guess that we'll find out in a week.
Yeah, I will go see it.
I'll probably be more looking forward to next year to see Star Wars on the big screen again.
Yeah. Like,
What was Starfighter? Well, this is Star Wars anyway.
No, Star Wars episode 4.
Oh, the relaunch of the original version
for the anniversary of Star Wars. Yeah,
but this is what sends me. This is why you guys were saying, do you collect these sorts of things? Like you've got various collections of all, like your horror films and such. Like I can remember buying the Star Wars when it came out, and it was in like the ones that they brought it out, and then they brought it out again in like some white boxes, and it were in like widescreen. This is on VHS. We're talking years ago, yeah.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
And then they re-released it again, not long afterwards, because they said there was something not so good about the quality, and it was just widescreen again. And they'd released so many Star Wars versions in such a short space of time. It totally put me off collecting like movies, really.
And you know what, Paul?
4 or 5 sitting down here of my own of that.
Yeah.
Steve and we've bought them all.
Yeah.
I even have the Laserdisc version.
Yeah, I've got the Laserdisc. I even actually had them at one point. Do you remember the original Laserdisc? Because we're buying and selling something like this at one point they were worthless. Like the original Laserdisc versions of Star Wars that have been on the old Philips Laserdisc players. We're talking like Vision 2000, whatever they used to call the old original Philips ones, where you had like a pop-up lid. It was like about this long. And it was a dog old version. Yeah, I even had them on them.
But they haven't released the original theatrical cut of Star Wars yet. We've only got it as an extra disc on the DVD, which I've still got, and I think you've got it as well, Hayden, haven't you?
Yeah.
But it's a Swizz. It's a Swizz though, isn't it? I mean, they're going to charge you again for them. You're not going to get any discount. You know what I mean? And people will buy them.
You see, I haven't been faithful to the original 3 and Rogue One.
Oh, Rogue One's classic. I mean, that there... I'd say that it were way better than any of the next ones that Lucas did. It blew it out of the water.
Unfortunately, it's a bit of a mishmash, obviously, because of the way Darth Vader was so awesome in that. It was a bit weak in Star Wars when you try and watch him after the other. He's another story, that. But,
you want to see Darth Vader being awesome, you want to watch Obi-Wan.
Yeah, no, I should do, really. But
and also, you want to watch Andor, because that is...
I've started watching that.
That is brilliant, especially season 2. Season 2 is much better than season 1. It's a proper Star Wars spy drama.
I'm probably about 3 episodes into season 1, and really I should watch it, because the problem with the Obi-Wan and such, like, I've watched probably about maybe say 2 episodes. I did like it, but I'm not a big fan of like the kid being in it. You know what I mean? It's like, just show me more. The
junior Princess Leia, she's so annoying in it, but
yeah.
When you get away from her, because I just say they should not have done Obi-Wan going and rescuing Princess Leia. They should have had another reason, like maybe they found out that, Vader found out where Yoda was or something or other like that as the motivator to get, Obi-Wan off Tatooine. That's what they should have done, rather than going and rescuing Princess Leia. That kid, and it's not the kid's fault, but it was just so ridiculous. Whereas the rest, if you ignore that bit, and it's very difficult to do, but the rest of it was great. And that the moment where he fights Vader and he shatters part of his mask, and I'm not saying any more than that if you haven't seen it, it's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I like that in episode 2 where Yoda has a fight with Count Dooku, you know, the Dracula guy.
Yeah.
Christopher Lee.
Yeah, that's worth watching. That's excellent. I love watching.
See, I have them on Blu-ray, but I didn't go for the 4K. So I got the Blu-ray box set of all 6 of those. But then I haven't done the 4K and everything on the other than the 4.
You do know the latest bit about Star Wars is evidently they're starting to retcon the sequels.
What do you mean?
And there's a strong theory, or maybe hope beyond hope, maybe a new hope, that they get rid of them and they do a proper sequel with Han, Luke and Leia. But obviously it won't be with them because they're not here, but they've got the face. Well, Leia's not here, but they've got the face replacement technology.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
I know, but that was still a bit ropey, though, wasn't it? Even
it wasn't in The Mandalorian. It wasn't in The Mandalorian. You look at Luke's return in the end of what was it, season 2?
I've not seen The Mandalorian, to be fair, anyway. So
yeah, we want to watch it, Steve. Season 2, where Luke returns in that.
I have seen an image of that. I did know about that. But
what they want to do is get Carrie Fisher's daughter as Leia, Sebastian Stan as Luke, and then someone else who looks like Harrison Ford to be Han Solo, and just recast them, and then do the sequel that we all wanted, with Luke as the Uber Master, setting up the Jedi, and forget all of this stupidness. I didn't mind The Force Awakens, but the crap Jedi was the biggest shit show ever created on film. And he closed that. Ryan Johnson should be trialed for treason against Star Wars and hung, to be quite honest, for what he did, because he closed down everything that JJ set up, and then they gave it back to JJ, and he created an awful movie, but he had nowhere to go with it. And that's why we had that line of somehow it has returned. It wasn't JJ's fault. That was directly because Kathleen Kennedy had no plan, and Ryan Johnson should never have directed a Star Wars movie or wrote one.
Yeah, terrible film. I sat in the cinema. I couldn't get over it, full stop. It
was a bloody road trip movie.
Even the attempts at humour. It's like there's a part in it near the beginning where one of the guys is come out and he gets electrified. I can't remember what happens, but somehow he gets electric shock. And it's meant to be like a really funny moment. It's like, it's just not funny at all, full stop. It's not. I couldn't get into the film.
Yeah, and the bit where they destroyed, what was it, the Devastator or whatever that Star Destroyer was, where she jumped into hyperspace, that was stupid because that would not happen in Star Wars physics. That had already been established because people had asked that question for years and it had already been answered in multiple versions of, the Legends sort of stuff. And I know it's Legends, but nevertheless, they kept everything else like kyber crystals and that, but it was just lazy writing by a lazy writer. It was awful.
I can't. I mean, but there's other people that will defend that to the death. Defend that whole film, and I can't get it. I don't understand.
But that's only because they're a different generation. That's why. That's all it's to do with.
Yeah, and
they've grown up watching.
They don't know more care in the community.
Yeah, they don't know. It's,
No, they don't. Anybody who likes The Force Awakens, I think that not The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, are people who are not really into Star Wars.
They're a younger generation anyway, so
yeah. Well, they're certainly not, watching it since 1977, and it's been their lifeblood for years.
Don't get me wrong, I don't mind the whole original 6 now, we're going to call them that, and then obviously with the Rogue Nation as well thrown in the middle of it. Yeah. But that last 3 was a bit, it was nice to see, but it just...
Well, you can't really knock the Force Awakens because it was A New Hope, but with everything bigger.
Yeah, I mean, nice to see the gang sort of back together again that were around at the time, but,
Yeah, but they should have reunited them and had that adventure. I get why they didn't, because they wanted to hand it on to the next generation, but they could have had two different storylines going. The same way as they had, Poe thinks that what's happening is wrong and he tries to overthrow the Admiral, and then Finn going off on his absolutely pointless trip that did nothing. Where he went to that planet and to get the Master Hacker, who never actually did anything.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous, basically.
Yeah, they ruined Star Wars at that point.
This is the thing. Disney buy these things out and they want to sell all the toys, they want to sell all the bits and pieces.
They get a towel it's full of stove, and they do this to it, and they try and get what's left out of it and try and use it, and it's just waste of time.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they try to bleed it dry, basically, which is, I don't know. It can become like a workload as well. There's so much that if I looked at all these different Star Wars things that I haven't watched. I actually did watch. Have you seen the new Darth Maul thing that they released on Disney?
I've started watching it. Yeah, it's quite good.
I didn't realise, otherwise I wouldn't have put it on full stop, is that it's animation. So I did actually watch the first 10 minutes or so of it, and I actually thought, at particular points, this doesn't look like animation. This looks like...
No, it doesn't.
It looks fantastic. You know what I mean? But still, I thought I wasn't... It didn't draw me in enough. Or maybe I was a bit too tired. I might have more watched it if it had been live action. I'd have been drawn in a little bit more. But I might go back and actually watch that.
I would, because there's a whole sort of like in the Star Wars universe, this whole thing where Darth Maul is like bigger than the Hutts in terms of being a crime lord. Because if you remember at the end of Solo, he appears there as, what was it, Crimson Dawn or whatever it was called, as the leader of that. And then they've, done this, but he does end up getting killed by Obi-Wan, which they did in one of the animated series. They actually showed Obi killing Maul in the end.
I mean, it
was like quick as well. You'd think it was going to be a massive battle, and it was like one move and he was dead, sort of thing. But it was very emotional in terms of the way that they did it, because there was like a respect between the two characters, whereas even though they were on opposing sides. It was quite interesting.
I actually really liked Solo. I saw that at the cinema, and a lot of people, I don't know if it was because the numbers wasn't as good as some of the other, like the financial numbers wasn't as good as the other ones. But I liked Solo. I thought that was a good film. I thought it was well acted.
I think that the problem with Solo was there was so many rewrites and refilmings, and the film got halfway directed through, and then they fired the director, and then they had Ron Howard come in and finish off the movie and stuff like that. And I just think it was doomed right from the start. While he did an okay job, I don't think he was the best choice as Han. Because there was another actor who was interviewed, he was in the top 4, and he looked just like Harrison Ford when he was younger.
In comparison to the bad Star Wars film, though, it's amazingly better, if you know what I mean.
It's Shakespeare in comparison to that.
Yeah.
In a matter of fact, our parish council newsletter was better Star Wars than The Last Jedi.
Yeah, it's not good. The Last Jedi, man.
No.
Perhaps if Princess Leia in real life, Carrie Fisher, hadn't died, that probably would have killed her if she'd actually watched that. It's that bad.
Well, she was alive when it was done, wasn't she?
Was she? I thought some of it had to be animated.
Yeah,
Mary Poppins bit was awful. Absolutely awful.
Yeah, Mary Poppins in space, it was. And then, when he got called out for it, Johnson then attacking the fans and saying, oh, well, it's because, you all live in your mother's basement. Well, no, we don't all live in our mother's basement. Some of us are fans. We have families, and we think that you ruined something that was magical.
Yeah.
That we wanted our kids to enjoy.
Yeah. One thing you should never do is attack the fans. They're never going to forgive you for that.
Well, we had that with Star Trek years ago, which is another story for another time. But, we've all been there. As Hayden goes with his camera.
I'm not sure if he knows he's gone. Do you know you've gone there, Hayden? I guess he's going to come back in a minute. But yeah. They all go around in these funny circles, don't they? Is Star Trek still owned by the original company? Is it still owned by Is it Paramount?
Yeah, well, it's Paramount, yeah. It's still under their licensee.
So they've never sold out. It. No, they've never sold out, because if they're going to sell out, whoever's going to come in is going to want to, like you say, with the tower.
We haven't got time tonight. We'd have another 5 hours talking about Star Trek and how bad that's been in some places. But let's talk about another movie again, isn't there? But I don't know. We'll see. Not sure what's going to happen.
I mean, they did a great job with the the last movies, I thought, not necessarily the last one, but when they did the first new one, they got Kirk right, they got Spock right, they got Cal, what's his face from Mortal Kombat 2 as the Doctor.
Yeah, I mean, all right, bit of a mishmash of the Wrath of Khan, but yeah. And then obviously with John Harrison being revealed that he was Khan.
Well, do you know what? That's another film I went to go see at the cinema, which was the new Khan film, because the Wrath of Khan, the original Wrath of Khan from like 82 or whenever it was released, was absolutely, it's one of my favourite films ever, not just of Star Trek. I'm talking like, I could say like Empire Strikes Back, Star Trek 2, Wrath of Khan.
No, I know. I went to see that, and other people know me well, but I saw that in Leicester Square, not Leicester Square, around the corner, Wrath of Khan in London when it came out in 1982.
Yeah, it was
it was that good. I saw it in a local cinema in Reading, and they had the same sort of sound setup as well. So when Kurt walks through the doors when he's on the Kobe Masharu, can't say it now, but the
at the beginning of the test,
I could hear the doors behind me close. It was really the first sort of time of hearing that sort of sound.
Yeah, quality film.
Even though we needed the director's cut to put back in what they took out.
Well, yeah. Well, when I went to go see the new Khan, the newer Khan film at the cinema.
You mean Into Darkness?
Into Darkness, yeah. Khan was reintroduced into it or whatever. It didn't seem to make any sense. I didn't.
No, that's why he was John Harrison, wasn't he? That was his pseudonym.
Yeah. I found it all a bit bonkers. I couldn't get into it.
Mm.
We've been talking Star Trek.
Yeah, sorry guys. I knocked my wire by accident to knocked everything off on my Mac. Because I have everything plugged into a hub and I have a magnetic clip and it just knocked it off. And normally I just connect it and it does it again, but I had to come out and then go back in.
Yeah.
So apologies for that.
Anyway, should we carry on then?
Yeah, okay. So I'll just quickly, in that case, mention what I've got because I've only got one, I think, to talk about, which is the Quatermass Experiment, which is a 4K release from Hammer Studios. Absolutely beautiful box set. I've done a video. I'll put a link in for this. Comes with a graphic novel and a booklet and a double-sided poster as well as postcards. It's a remaster from the original 35mm tapes, and there's so much on this, like 5 or 6 disc set. It's about that thick. Is this thing as well? The other one there.
So they got they got the different cuts, so the theatrical cut and also they got all of those.
Yeah, and the BBC TV series on it. You've got.
So just quickly, I just wanted to talk about this. So I watched the Quatermass. Which one did I watch? I watched the one where there was a spaceship crashed in the tube station.
That was Quatermass and the Pit.
Yeah. Is that the first one?
Third one. Third one, I think. Yeah. Quatermass Experiment, I think, is the first one. Mm-hmm. And that is where a spaceship launched by Quatermass comes back and there's some sort of alien infection on board, which makes people... It's kind of like Life Force, but without the nudity in it, sort of thing. So maybe watch Life Force instead. But yeah, it's an old black and white, 4x3 sort of presentation.
Yeah, they're quite messing the pit. I did watch it before I went on holiday because I got it in that box set. The DVD box set.
Yeah, I've got the Blu-ray version of it. Quatermass and the Pit was the first thing that kind of like got me into Quatermass many years ago. Brilliant movie or TV series. And then the other one, Quatermass Experiment 2 or Quatermass 2.
That's it in the timeline. Is that the one following that? Is that the one?
That's the one that follows the Quatermass spaceship crashing, and this one is there's an alien infection on Earth, sort of thing, and they've created this like base where they're growing stuff and whatever, and they're trying to pass it off as like a food production thing, but they're doing harmful chemicals. And Quatermass solves the day, sort of thing. So, but yeah, it's a really good old science fiction program from the 50s. It's not like 2001 or anything like that.
No, it won't be. No, 50s. It is. It's it falls in that sort of space, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a slow moving sort of thing. There's not a lot of action in it. It's more about storytelling and more about the images that it portrays, a bit like, the atmosphere that it produces, a bit like supermassive game sort of game. But obviously this is a movie, and there's a couple of different versions as well. They've got the American release,
That's right,
and stuff like that as well. But the extras are really good on these discs.
Yeah, I want to pick up the Hammer documentaries as well.
Yeah, I've got that on my sites as well.
Yeah. And mine was Captain Kronos, which is, even though that's a 2-disc, I think it is, not the big box one like we got with the others. That's got 3 versions of the film on it, and then there's a separate disc with extras as well. But yeah, you should take a look at the trailer for Captain Kronos. It's very cheesy, but it's Carolyn Monroe's in it, so it's worth its weight in gold there. And it's vampires as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and the next one that they're doing is X, isn't it?
X Experiment.
X Experiment, yeah. So yeah, I'm quite looking forward to that one as well. See what that one's about. So who wants to go next?
I can go next. I've only got 2 quick ones. The first one is I didn't realise this was the last one, and this is from last year. So I watched with the missus last night, The Conjuring: Last Rites. I don't know how many of those movies you've seen, or if you know much about them.
I've seen 2 of them, I think.
Yeah.
I've only just started getting into horror, as you know, Steve.
Yeah. So I didn't realise this was the last one of the Conjuring series.
Yeah.
So you've got Ed Warren and Lorraine Warren are these they are part of the true story side of it as paranormal investigators, and this one is based on a true event of what they dealt with, which was to do with a family in, where was it? Probably it was not the same as The Run, but the true story about the Smurl family with their haunting, and it's the final appearance of those 2. And I thought the one I watched last was, but it wasn't. I watched The Red Door, which was before it. I didn't realise that, but this was really good. And at the end of the movie, they show you footage, real footage of the original 2 people that they were playing. And I wouldn't mind having that box set of all those films. To be fair, I mean the first 2 are incredible. This one grossed nearly 500 million worldwide on this one, and at a budget of 55 million. So it made its weight in gold.
Yeah.
So I'd highly, if you haven't seen, I mean, Insidious as well. If you haven't seen those movies, they're well worth their weight in gold as well. But have you seen Annabelle? No, have you seen that one? So Annabelle's a separate movie, but the family have got like a basement or like a little office with all the stuff they keep. And Annabelle's in the glass container there on the bottom left-hand corner when you walk and you see her in the beginning of the film. There's a separate film to tell that story as well. But even Annabelle was no spoiler. Annabelle was in it as well. And it was really creepy. Really, really creepy. Good film. The other thing I've been watching, because I didn't do the Kickstarter, I've decided to just go for the downloaded version. So Creators VC, who did the science fiction 80s documentary, all the horror ones I've got, In Search of Darkness, they've done one with John Carpenter called The Thing Expanded. And it's a 5-hour documentary talking to all the cast as they are now, even Kurt Russell's in it, going through the filming of the movie and their experiences. And I'm 2.5 hours in at the moment, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I thought I knew a lot about The Thing, but now I'm watching this, I'm learning more about the production of the film. It's probably in the same part, because they did also Aliens Expanded as well, one for that. And again, that's another 5-hour documentary. But yeah, I'm really, really enjoying it. I'm sort of halfway through at the moment. They're talking about the film as the way they filmed it, as also as much as it's probably in timeline of the film itself. The only unfortunate thing is Rob Bottin isn't actually in it. He's disappeared off the face of the planet, apparently. But it was his designs, obviously, for the special effects. But they got the other team in there talking about how it went with the actors, through the whole lot of them that are in the predicament in the Antarctic. It's still out. You can still pick it up. They're doing a digital sale at the moment for it. At the moment, you get a PDF certificate of authenticity with it. So you get a PDF booklet that goes with it, which you'd normally get if you got the physical copy, which I didn't get to do. You'd have the booklet with it, if you know what I mean. But yeah, check it out. Well worth a look if you're a bit of a carpenter.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I've been watching quite a bit of different things. I won't work around too much about each particular one, but one thing I actually did find, this has come up on my YouTube, random, on my homepage. I hadn't actually sought these 2 things out, and you guys might have actually seen these 2 channels already. But Criterion Collection and Arrow Videos both do like a little 5-10 minute little short video, and they'll put famous people inside this room, and it's got all their films that's available. And
Yeah,
they're like,
if you see my Facebook, I redo those every time they're on. But they've never come to the UK, which I would
No.
love to go in the room. Although I've got a few, and I think Hayden's got a few of their. We've got a few releases each of us have. They've got a big catalogue.
yeah, it's a brilliant room that they put them into, isn't it? And the guys,
Yeah.
the way they talk about the films, I've added quite a few of the films that these guys say you should watch for this reason. And there might be like bizarre sounding films, but they'll kind of like niche into something that you have already seen. And they'll say, if you've seen this one, then you should watch this one. And also you think to yourself, the people that are in the room at the time, the videos that the films that they're telling you to watch, you think, well, based on some of the films that these guys have been in, that probably is worth watching, because you can see it's probably come out in part of their performance at some point.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like the inspiration that they give from those.
Yeah, if you go to YouTube, you can probably see the big bulk of them there. Although I got them on my Facebook feed, so every time someone goes in the it's a back of a truck really set out like it is, and even people, some of the actors and directors from Britain have been in there as well, you know, and interesting to see what their favourites are.
Yeah, there were one of the guys from the League of Gentlemen, you know, the BBC show.
Yeah, I know.
Shearsmith. I can't remember his first name.
Reece Shearsmith.
Yeah, and obviously you can just he's probably got a very interesting mind, you know, based on the characters he's played and the things that he's written and the things that he's been in. So anything that he suggested, he's kind of like it was like sold, you know, it's like, oh yes, I'll take a look at that when it got added to my list. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was great to watch that. It was a new way to consider things that you've never considered before. So yeah. It's a great little YouTube channel.
And if you fancy physical copies like Hayden and I do, go onto Amazon. You look at the UK copies. I mean, I've only got probably 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got about 5 or 6 movies. One of them's a box set. And Hayden's got I think we both got the first Romeo zombie flick, Night of the Living Dead.
One that they talked about that I really fancy watching, and I would never have even considered watching it, and no doubt it will have passed by me many times, and that's the Bruce Lee film with James Garner, Marlowe.
Yeah.
They just re-released it, or they're just about to, or something or other, and that looks absolutely like a film I should have watched.
Yeah, which one you got there? So that's not Criterion. That's Second Sight.
Yeah, it is. That's the one I've got.
What?
Of Dawn of the Dead. I've got
no, not Dawn of the Dead. Night of the Living Dead is on Criterion.
Yeah, I've got the Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah. And I've got Peter Sellers' last movie, Being There. And if you haven't seen that, I highly recommend it.
No, not got that.
He plays a butler that's lived in the house and never stepped outside the 4 walls, but knows everything from watching TV. And his guy he looked after, being the butler, passes away, and he's put out on the street. It's a sad, but it's a really intense movie. Really, really good.
It's like the second ever film I watched on video. I was being about 11 or something at the time. It's when all the video nasties, you can still get all the video nasties, and that was Zombie Flesh Eaters.
Yeah, I got the Arrow 4K of that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and the first film I ever watched was Friday the 1st.
Yeah, Hayden's trying to go through them yet, or is he on Nightmares now? I can't remember.
I'm doing Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Next.
Yeah.
Because I got a bit distracted because I started doing, what do you call it? The last one was Bloodlines.
On Destination.
Yeah, Final Destination.
Talking of old films, do you remember back in the video days, these were kind of like popular comedies. You never hear anything about them or anyone ever talk about them these days. And there was like the first one I think was called Lemon Popsicle, and it were about 3 teenagers, and I think they were like in Italy, and most of it were dubbed, but it was like a film you would see. It was always in the video shop, you know what I mean?
No, I don't remember that one.
Yeah, they were really good. Well, they were a bit, to be honest, I were a bit young to be watching such films at the time. I wouldn't let my 11-year-old, if I had an 11-year-old, I wouldn't let them watch that kind of thing. You know what I mean? But it was Wild Wild West at one point, wasn't it? Back in the video days, you could get any old thing on video. I watched Snuff, you know, the film Snuff. I mean, of course, we know it's not a real Snuff film, but it was promoted as a real Snuff film at the time, or, you know, that was the selling point.
Yeah.
So, yeah, brutal,
if you go to 88 Films, it's like I've got stuff like Zombie Holocaust and stuff like that, and I think the other one, I'm not sure what it was now, but I can't think where I've got it. But, yeah, they were just straight-to-video sort of movies.
I'll tell you what I have got recently.
Was that the remake?
No.
Oh, no, yeah.
That's the proper one.
Yeah, no, Yeah, that's sitting in
I
my
got
collection.
that, but I also got,
I can't really see it very well. Oh, okay, yeah.
and this is probably one of the first movies that was talking about AI taking over the world. This is like pre-Terminator and everything. Quite an interesting sort of movie. But I've been starting going through a bit of a collecting movies from the 60s, 70s, and 80s that you just can't get anywhere else. And that one, you can't see that for love nor money anywhere.
Which one?
Colossus.
Right, yeah, because The Day the Earth Stood Still, that's in my collection, along with War of the Worlds, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, This Island Earth, It Came from Outer Space, all those 50s.
I don't have It Came from Space or This Island Earth, but I've got Forbidden Planet.
Yeah, I've got that as well, and them as well. I've got the one with the giant ants.
No, I haven't got that one yet. That's on my sites to get.
Well, that came from, my copy is from the HMB collection. So they do like a special collection where you got like cards and that.
Yeah.
That's because I got them and Jason and the Argonauts, Forbidden Planet, Logan's Run, Grand Prix, Von Ryan's Express, Village of the Damned, and one of the Dracula movies I can't read it from here as well. They're all on that collection.
I'll tell you what I watched the other day as well. One from the 80s with Helen Mirren, Excalibur, because I've got
quality.
Yeah. How was the quality like on the 4K? Is it good?
Wonderful. Really, really good quality. Really good.
Yeah, there used to be as a part in Excalibur. It's a theme that they regularly play. And it's like a dum 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 dum. You know what I mean? I'm not doing it any justice. I don't think we'll get a copyright strike
Carmen
for it.
Burana.
Yeah,
if you mean.
But I will.
Karloff's Carmen Burana.
Yeah. So, but
the Old Spice music.
Yeah. Well, it's that I listened to it when I was watching Excalibur some random time or other, and I kept thinking, where have I heard that a million times before? And it was on Supercars 1 and 2 on the Amiga when Magnetic Fields used to come on, which is the guys that programmed it, and it'd do the ripped that little bit, that sample, and that's what it used to be for their logo when it used to come on. And it bugged me for ages where I'd heard it 1,000 times. But yeah, Excalibur is a quality film.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's undoubtedly a great film. I mean, Merlin in there is brilliant.
Oh, if you're not into like collecting physical media, but you want to watch, because they do have they've got the Criterion channel. You can watch that as a sub, and Arrow got their own channel as well. So those sort of films, they do have them on there if you want to subscribe to it. But again, I'd prefer to have hard copies.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, when it's being streamed, it's never going to be quite as good as, a Blu-ray or whatever.
Look at the video that who did the 3 Batman movies? Oh God, I can't think his name all of a sudden.
Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, he talks about streaming and buying physical media, and you listen to what he says. It's totally true what he says about it. It's dumbed down, as I say, it's dumbed down on streaming. But to get the full image and what quality you want, you need to have it in your hand.
Well, to be quite honest, even the full quality compared to the original that they've shot it in, the original is still better quality.
Yeah.
Because, you've got to remember that you only got, 125 gigabytes of storage on a Blu-ray?
Mm.
And, that's if you max out all of the storage, or is it 100 gigabytes? It's something like that. And some movies are just so immense, so detailed. I mean, like, I've got the Lord of the Rings collections of both.
Mm.
And in order to be able to do the extended version of Lord of the Rings,
2 discs.
Each movie's on 2 discs.
That's the same for the Blu-ray set as well, which I got.
Yeah, it is.
The gold box set. But it's the same with Ben-Hur. That film's on 2 discs in 4K.
Yeah. I don't mind that, though. But, it's like there are some movies that are just the ones that you have to have to show Blu-ray. 1001 is one of them. Flash Gordon is one of them.
Mm.
The 10 Commandments is another.
Yeah. Actually, I'm surprised how good Dirty Harry looks in 4K. That's really got a crisp picture on it, considering it's a 70s film. And the same, The Exorcist in 4K. Not everyone's cup of tea, obviously, but that again,
Yeah.
And Nightmare on Elm Street I got in 4K.
Yeah.
They're really good. And the Warner Brothers collection they've been doing recently, even, what was it? Bruce Lee, Enter the Dragon. That's a wonderful copy in 4K as well.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
if you get The Abyss in 4K, I really like that version.
Yeah, I got that as well. Yeah, I picked up
Yeah.
the American. Well, I picked it up on Amazon American at first, I think, or did I get it on eBay? I think I got it
Yeah,
on
that's
eBay.
what I did. I went to Amazon America because they're not releasing it in this country because
The rats.
Cameron refuses to remove the rat drowning bit,
Yeah.
which it doesn't drown because it's liquid air.
Yeah. I mean, I do have an American, but I can't until I get a decent player to upgrade it. I've got the Dead Zone in 4K from Stephen King and David Cronenberg.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If
that's
you want a
not been
good player that's not massively expensive, get the Pioneer Panasonic 820.
Does that play American Blu-rays?
They all play American. You mean normal Blu-rays? Sorry, no.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking 4K Blu-rays. They're
No, the 4K is
locked.
fine. But the Blu-rays are stuck in their region.
Oh, well, you can get a multi-region player
So
easily.
you can get 4K multi-region players for Blu-ray. You can. Yeah, I've been looking into it.
For Blu-ray, yeah, I think you can get them about £30 on Amazon.
No, but you can get a 4K player like we got, but you can get one that also plays
4K, yeah. They'll also play
Blu-rays as well, as in region.
But
any region.
is it the quality of the Blu-ray player that you want? This is why I say get the Panasonic 820.
Because obviously just the Blu-ray's got all the extras normally on those films. So when I've got the Dead Zone, the extras on that is all in Blu-ray, and I've got DVDs in Region A as well. I don't need to watch them so much because I've got the box set. But there's my Ultimate Edition in DVD of that, which came out many moons ago. That's a 4-disc copy, but I've got a 7-disc copy on 4K now. But
I think I've got the 5-disc copy of that.
what, the one you just showed?
Yeah, that one.
Put it on its side view. Oh yeah, God yeah. No, mine's that thick. Actually, it's thicker than the Curse of Frankenstein. So that's
No,
why-
Curse of Frankenstein's. Your one, yeah.
Yeah,
mine
the
was.
Dawn of the Dead is like that thick because it's got 2 books as well, and it's got 7 discs, including the soundtrack.
Because I didn't drop on it for a long time.
Mm.
The price had gone up massively on it, so I just thought, no, I'm not paying that amount of money for the movie.
Yeah, but I've still got my Arrow copies as well. So Dawn of the Dead, I've got the Arrow copy there,
Yeah.
and I've got also the Dawn of the Dead version of it as well. I can't, I have to have everything. I don't like to throw them out because I think I've got 4K. This is not on 4K yet though. Yeah, they're dead, but it will be one day.
Yeah.
It
Sorry,
is.
Paul, we cut you off on you.
No,
Yeah,
no.
we're telling us
Sorry.
we were playing.
These are
We
things
went
you
on
should
to a
be
real
watching.
sidetrack there, didn't we?
Sorry.
You run about some of the best films and such like on 4K. If you're ever, inevitably at some point you're going to be buying a new TV and you're probably going to up on YouTube and watching YouTube reviews for new TVs to get an idea as to which is the best one to watch. And some of the films that the guys use on there, I can't particularly name any of them off the top of my head, but some of them swear by certain scenes in certain films, on certain releases for testing stuff, are meant to be the best.
But DVD, I like to watch a raw version of it, so that's my DVD version of Zombie Flesh Eaters.
That's probably is that like really, really, really old? Because that looks like an original.
This is DVD, so this includes the material banned since 1983, which is all on the Arrow copy now. But it's having these sort of these. You won't get these anymore.
No.
There's no point. Don't trade them in because they'll be It's only 1 disc, it's just, but you've got and the same, if you're keen on something like this, I highly recommend that.
Yeah.
But I got the Criterion box set, which is 3 discs on that, and that's a DVD. That's how I saw it back in 1980, and this is a widescreen version as well. So these sort of movies are, that's why I want to pick up The Evil Dead as well on DVD. I want to pick up some of the older ones like that.
Oddly enough, Evil Dead's a film I've never seen, which is meant to be another good one,
Yeah, releasing the second one in 4K shortly as well, apparently. They already got the first one in 4K. But I saw that in the cinema when it came out.
But it's well regarded, isn't it, as being a really good film? Or maybe, I don't know if it's meant to be a really good quality film, but it's meant to be a good horror. If you're into a horror film, it's meant to be a good horror film.
Oh, yeah, because
Horror
also,
and comedy.
Yeah. But the first one's just horror, the second one's got horror comedy, but it's how they filmed it, when you're using the speed with the camera going through the barn and the house and all that and the log cabin. They got a plank between 2P and the camera sitting on it and they're running with it. They just invented stuff those days and how to do it, which is, they've done it.
Yeah.
Since then they've improved it now. But
And it was Sam Raimi who did it, and then he went on to do Spider-Man, didn't he?
yeah.
This is it. It's like, and if you watch some of the things about how they did the special effects back in the day, it really was artwork, wasn't it? And inventive.
That's
and,
why I'm saying the thing even though I've got that on Arrow, so I've got the documentary called for that one, but also there's another documentary on the Studio Canal version and the 4K version. But this documentary is going through just pinpointing little bits and pieces on because that's practical effects, which you don't see a lot of these days,
No, it's just not the done thing anymore, is it? I mean,
No.
everything's digital.
Yeah, but yeah, you want to check out, the Shogun Assassin. Super. If you like a bit of samurai and blood and guts.
This is it. I don't mind subtitles either in films. Some people instantly won't watch a film if it's got subtitles, but I'm happy with subtitles.
Now, what do you
I
think?
won't watch them.
The Criterion Collection on this is the originals as well with subtitles as well, and it's like a three film trilogy on this regarding the characters.
I'm equally happy with dubbed because probably you'll remember obviously the original Monkey from TV. So you've kind of grown up with dubbed, if you know what I mean. So you can kind of accept it, even if it's not good. You can still appreciate that it's still good and it's still worth watching. So if there's an option for dubbed, I will probably put the dubbed option on. But equally,
these are Italian and they're dubbed on the actors.
Yeah.
So and these are classic movies that people forget they exist anymore. Just good comedy Italian westerns.
Yeah, spaghetti westerns.
I actually have the entire series of Monkey
Yeah, you did,
on
didn't you?
Blu-ray. Yeah.
It is good though, isn't it? I mean, that were entertaining as a kid. You can't deny that. That were well worth watching as a kid. I mean, you got your original Star Trek on TV in Monkeys and Doctor Who.
Just quickly, because there's another show that was on at the same time. I do remember it, and it was called The Water Margin.
Yeah, I remember that. I think that had Sandy in it, didn't it, as well? Did that have Sandy in it, the fish guy?
Might have done. I can't remember. This is a DVD box set with a fully restored whole TV series, and it's well worth picking up if you'd like to go back on that sort of stuff as well.
Yeah, the good thing about them sort of shows, same with Monkey and all that, it's the intros. It's the same with Star Trek. You can just sometimes go on YouTube and watch the intros. The music at the beginning and stuff.
But this sounds like James Bond at the beginning. Honestly, if you played it, it just has that intro. You think, oh my God.
Yeah, fantastic.
Anyway.
1 second.
Last bit of show and tell.
Looking at the wrong show.
Monkey, classic. I mean, I think it were Pigsy that they changed, didn't they? He had a different character about season 2 or something, you know what I mean? But yeah, amazing. They were quality in the day. I mean, there was no doubting, that were well worth watching.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
On Friday or something, I think, remember rightly.
Beatable.
Friday night, BBC 2, 6 o'clock.
Yeah. People are thinking what we're talking about.
It's got to be. I mean, often you can go back and look at these things and then think, "Oh my God, what was I actually watching?" But I'm sure I've gone back and watched maybe say like an episode or two, and they're still stood up. It isn't. It's still the nostalgia's still valid on it.
Yeah. That's like I've been watching these Bruce Lee movies on Arrow that I've been picking up. Some of them I've not actually seen before. So he was a lost art, that guy. But there you go.
Well, this is it. There's a lot of good actors that gone young, like Elvis, for example. I mean, he should. I'm not sure if he should still be going right this moment. He might have, but that and John Lennon and things like that, But
he might be a bit thin and smelly nowadays.
Yeah, if he's been on that, what they call them injections they're all having at the moment. It was the deep fried peanut butter sandwiches. I think that's what killed him basically, and probably all the cocaine and the drugs. But that one meant to be one of his favourite things. I remember he's watching like a documentary about Elvis when he were in Vegas, and that was his favourite, deep fried peanut butter sandwiches. I mean, that's just calories with calories in it,
Well, if I've been looking after my calories, I just think that'd be like heart attack food, isn't it?
Well, yeah, that's it. Right?
Didn't he die on a loo or something?
Allegedly, yeah. That's how he meant to have gone.
What a shit way to go.
Yeah.
Anyway, should we tidy up?
Right.
Yeah. Did you have anything else you wanted to add, Paul? Or?
Yeah, I've just I'll whitter through some of these bits I've seen. I watched a good film actually called Undertone. Now, oddly enough, it's about a woman and another guy, but it's all set in her house. and she does paranormal podcasts. And a lot of it is actually when she's got her headphones on. And if you remember me saying earlier, I generally watch my movies or whatever because the missus goes to bed. If I'm not upstairs, I'm downstairs, and I'm considerate of the neighbours. And I like to be able to have it, blasting a little bit. I want to hear it good. And it was really good to watch it. It was almost as if you was like having the headphones on was like you was more part of the film because it was all like she had the headphones on talking to the other guy while they're recording the show and stuff. And she's basically got like a really ill mother, and things keep happening, of course, within the area, and they keep talking about a particular investigation they've been talking about, etc. It's got a bit of an ambiguous ending, but if you see it, undertone, I'd say it's well worth watching. Another film I watched was called Wasteman, which is a UK prison drama. I think it gets like 4 out of 5 stars on the Empire magazine. So I wouldn't have necessarily watched it if I hadn't have actually, seen a decent score for it. The video cover or the cover online wouldn't have captured my interest. But it's really good. It's harrowing. It's just like Scum, really. The original Ray Winston film, which is set in Borstal, but this is set in a prison.
I got that. I've got a new restoration of that. That's sitting in my collection.
Scum, yeah. I mean, that's a quality film. I mean, Ray Winston in that. I mean, what an actor,
The TV of it was banned, wasn't it? They didn't. The play that was on BBC, they actually banned it, and it ended up going to cinema.
Yeah. I mean, great quality film. I mean, some of the stuff in that, obviously, there's loads of stuff in that, which they probably wouldn't want a younger person really watching these days, So, yeah, Wasteman, it's about a guy, he's ready to get out sort of thing. He gets a new cellmate and things go a little bit not so good. Watched a really good film called Exit 8, it's Japanese, subtitled. But oddly enough, Exit 8 is actually, you can play the game as well. They've got the game on PlayStation Essentials, or PlayStation Plus, I should say. And basically, this guy, he gets like a phone call, and he's basically being told that his ex-girlfriend, or the one he's just sort of finished with, she's pregnant, and so it's sort of like them kind of getting their heads back together. But that's kind of like a subplot, really, because he finds himself in like the subway, and he can't get out, and he works out that the only way to get out is if he starts noticing things that are different. So he keeps going down like the same corridor all the time. So interesting film, well worth watching. I've been watching Half Man, which is the one by the guy that did Baby Reindeer, and we were talking last time about not binge watching things. Now the good thing with this Half Man is it's BBC. They're releasing one episode a week. There's no binge watching it. You've got to watch it weekly. And the good thing is like we were talking about, not binge watching things. I've actually thought about the show because I've enjoyed the show. So every show you've had, it's left you with thoughts as to where you think it's going to be going. I'm not dipping straight into episode 2, 3, 4, and I've watched it all in an evening. So I haven't had any chance to think about it really. If you haven't seen Half Man, it's definitely different. Well worth watching. Yeah. Also watched another good BBC one, which is called The Cage, which is set in a casino in the UK, and about 2 people in there that work there that are kind of desperate for money. And also the casino.
BBC iPlayer, I think I saw that advertised on.
Yeah, give it a try. Give it an episode or 2. Well worth watching. It's good. Lots going on it. One thing I did watch, I watched a Netflix thing called Should I Marry a Murderer? It's an English show.
I saw that one.
Did you watch all 3 episodes?
I've got it to watch. It's on my list to watch.
Okay, I won't spoil it. It's set in Scotland, and all I will say to you is the woman that could have married this guy, I have zero sympathy for her. Absolutely, she brought it all on herself, yeah. You might have a totally different opinion. She was lapping it up, you know what I mean? The drama was, she was an absolute, she just loved the drama. The pure drama of it all. I'd say she should have gone to jail as well. So anyway, that was good. I watched a Nicolas Cage film. I like Nicolas Cage. I think he really gets into whatever role he's given. I think he gets into it. He plays it well, and he does a lot of different roles. I just like the different. And there's one called Dream Scenario, and he's basically how can you say? He's a professor at an American school. American university or whatever, and people start coming up to him and saying that I've been seeing you in my dreams, and he turns him into like he's like a bit of a nobody, if you know what I mean. There's no special about him, but this turns him into like a bit of a celebrity. People want to start coming to like his lectures, and he becomes a bit of, oh God, I saw you in my dream as well. But then these dreams start to turn into nightmares, And so he starts hurting people within these dreams. But he's not really hurting anybody, if you know what I mean. It's all in their own mind. But loads of people start seeing him. So it's a strange film. But if you want to watch a strange film, it's good. I like Nicolas Cage. I think he's done loads of good films.
Well, there's someone who doesn't like him at all, actually. So he's looking very perplexed at the minute.
Yeah, I would say that his best role was as Big Daddy on Kick-Ass, and his best acting part was when he got set on fire because his wooden acting really helped him set on fire.
Is that the Wicker Man remake or whatever? Yeah.
No, it's Kick-Ass.
Yeah. Well,
Kick-Ass.
No, but the Wicker Man remake is poor. Don't even go there. I hate it. Just stick to the original.
Don't get me wrong. I think he'd made a lot of bad financial choices at one point, because I remember them saying that he would try to sell off a load of real estate properties that he owned. Like he bought like a castle in Scotland and some other various expensive properties. And then I think he started probably doing a few bad movies, and then the only movies he could do to get the money in were bad movies, if you know what I mean. And so I think things went a little bit odd for him at one point.
He did a couple of years ago, I think, because he did a H.P. Lovecraft story into a movie he was in, which is very good.
Yeah, I like him. I remember him being in not Leaving Las Vegas. It's Leaving Las Vegas, a totally different film. That's where it's about the guy that's into his drugs. Is a reporter. It's based on a true story.
About being drunk, isn't it?
Yeah,
Drugs,
yeah. But there's another one, and I believe he got an Oscar for it as well. It's something to do with, in the title, it's Las Vegas, whatever it is, it's something Las Vegas. And he got an Oscar for it, I believe. I can't remember. But he did. It was well acclaimed at the time. So, and then I saw one last film, which is, I mentioned it earlier, which is A Sheep Detective with Hugh Jackman. Well worth watching. You could take anyone to go see it, kids, family, whatever. Adults will enjoy it. It's a great film.
Mm. Sorry, just thinking about Nicolas Cage, you do know that he's going to be Spider-Noir. It's the noir version of Spider-Man, set in like a 50s sort of scenario, or maybe earlier than that. Sort of like Al Capone sort of look, but Spider-Man's sort of like all black and wears like a jacket. Well,
this is what I was saying. He does different. He always tries something different.
Yeah.
But I mean, that sounds like it could be terrible or really good, doesn't it, really? He has got that oddness to his character that he could pull off something crazy like that.
Yeah, so I'm quite intrigued to see what that's actually going to be like.
Yeah, definitely.
And Steve, I will change my mind about actors. I have changed my mind about Ryan Gosling on his more recent movies.
That one, yeah.
No, I watched The Fall Guy as well. I quite liked him in that. And I still think he didn't quite have the range for being Ken in the Barbie movie, but he was okay in that as well.
No. You watched him about 2 films, and one of them was Blade Runner, so, but he wasn't as close to being an android anyway, so that's probably about right for him.
Well, I mean, to be quite honest, he was like, any movies Blade Runner and before, he was like 0-dimensional.
Mm-hmm.
So he was probably, for an emotionless robot, probably quite okay. Anyway, I'm quite conscious that it's nearly 10:30. So rather than doing listener questions, so sorry, Mark, we're not going to get your questions after you've sent them in, and you're the only person who has sent them in. So we'll save those for next time. So, Steve, do you want to do your sign-off?
Yeah, so Xbox gamer tag is Stevo007, the same for Twitter, X. Instagram is
Vinyl Cues.
Thank you, Vinyl Cues. Is the same for my YouTube account as well. I've got loads of soundtracks, movie soundtracks on there as well.
Yeah, if you want to catch me, you'll catch me on the Pop Culture Game podcaster Facebook group. I'm losing the plot, getting tired. But yeah, you'll catch me in the Facebook group. And if the guys from the don't do send in the 007 application form, that's where you can send it to me as well. I've no doubt I'll get the job. So yeah, fantastic.
And for me, I'm HERJ UK on everything except for Epic, which I'm Pop Culture Gamers. You can follow us on X/Twitter at Pop Culture Gamer. Don't forget our YouTube channel, Pop Culture Gamers, where I've uploaded some stuff recently, including an unboxing of the Steam controller. So check out some of that stuff, and also check out a couple of the songs that I've uploaded recently to Pop Vinyl Music, which is the YouTube channel I set up to do some music releases that I've wrote with either my own lyrics and use soon or other AI to do. And we've got a couple of ones, one for the Commodore 64 and one for the Amiga on there as well. So check those two songs out. They're not too bad, even if I do say so myself. Other than that, it's a good night from me.
Good night from me.
And a good night from me too. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.